Stand up, New York Giant fans. What is going on, Baddog? We've got a crazy story to open up tonight.
Yeah, I'm sitting here. I know I'm a free man. I didn't rob nobody. I didn't pay nobody. I didn't do nothing. Just sitting here minding my own business.
Yeah. Pretty crazy stuff. Just want to say, am I on the wrong? Did I not broadcast to StreamYard? Because I don't see.
You're on StreamYard.
Am I? Okay.
Looking at it right now.
All right. It just took a while for it to come in. Okay. I just wanted to make sure.
You're good. You're good.
All right. I just wanted to get to a couple of super chats that you guys were nice enough to give me before I went live. Just want to shout you guys out. Thank you to everybody for being here. And of course, we're going to talk about the DeAndre Baker thing. We're going to field a ton of your guys' questions about, I guess, what the New York Giants are probably going to do and whether or not it's true. I mean, like, we're not going to jump the gun like we did last time. It's a story, but doesn't sound promising. Let's put it that way. Benjamin, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, having Heineken in a can, brilly for you, Baddog.
I'll be doing a lot of that tomorrow. Good.
Oh, that's right. I saw you.
Yeah, that's why I got into the StreamYard a little later and packing, getting shit ready and everything else. So yeah, tomorrow we get a little get together. It'll be good.
You're going to a casino or something?
Yeah,
like that, right?
staying the night, and I got a night away from my son. Not that I'm going to miss him, obviously, but God, to be able to sleep, I don't know what I'm going to
do. And Benjamin, man, thanks again for love, man. He says no rated R jokes for me today. Brilly.
Saves that for my channel.
Yeah. Well, he said it for mine as well. I appreciate it, man. And then he says the bet is I have to go a duration of the stream without saying anything R rated, and if I can do it, I have my way with her anytime I want for 2 months. Well, Benjamin, then you better be G-rated. And I just want to make sure.
I think that was PG-13 at the very least, that comment.
Bleeding Giant Blue in Eagle territory. Well, that's tough. And I appreciate the love, man. Thank you very much. He says, bye, Baker. Do you think Logan Ryan is the best form of replacement? Ryan is 29, proven veteran, and also has ties to Joe Judge from his former Patriot days. And he's been the popular name when we talked about this last time as the established pro that could potentially take over that job, who remains out on the free agency market. He's known as more of a nickel guy. He has played on the outside. The problem with him, how much is he going to cost? We don't have a lot of money left. But, yeah, I mean, in terms of the ties to Joe Judge, it makes sense. But I don't know if he fits our budget.
Well, also this. I mean, listen, we all know the Giants thought this whole thing was going on and that he wasn't, proven innocent. He wasn't proven guilty either, but he wasn't proven innocent or guilty. And we knew that this was going to be a problem, and they still never went out and found somebody to replace him. Obviously, he's not going to be part of this team. If this all comes to fruition, this guy's done. So maybe that changes things, but I think they placed it in-house. Like you said, we don't have any money. Gettleman spent more than he said he would. He said he wanted to keep about $20 million for in-season moves, and we're below that. I can't see us bringing in a Logan Ryan. I think Sam Beal and Julian Love will battle it out for that spot.
Yeah, I think you're right. And if not him, Darnay Holmes, who has some experience playing on the outside. But like you said, we're going to have to wait and see how it all plays out. Let me get to the next one. Want to make sure I don't miss any of these. Meat Man, great supporter of both of ours, man. Thank you so much. He says, whether or not Baker's innocent, guilty, he will have a judge tell him what to do this season.
I like that.
That's accurate. That's for sure. And hopefully he's innocent, like we said, but it does not look good from the article. If you guys haven't read it, Pat Leonard wrote an article basically saying that there's a lot of new evidence, and we'll get into it, talking about that he may be viewed as guilty. Benjamin, man, thanks so much for love again. He says, oh, Benjamin, you are the freaking man. You're the brother I've never had, and I want to have a beer with you, brother. Just for you, I'm a Lakers fan. Really. That I will never be a Lakers fan, but I appreciate all the love and the support, and good luck to your Lakers this year in the playoffs. I'll definitely I don't know if I'll be rooting for them.
They'll win it all. As long as I'm broadcasting it, they win. You know that. Well, Benjamin, you know the drill. We broadcast to get 1,000 likes, Lakers win. It's like,
Yeah.
That's about as sure a bet as it gets. And you also know Yvonne Holloway is going to be with me. Of course, she'll be with me opening night. I'm looking forward to getting all the hotties back in the studio with me. So it's going to be fun. And the Yankees, they start next weekend with a couple of exhibition games.
We got to alternate channels, Mets versus the Yankees in those exhibition games. I think the 18th and the 19th, if I'm not mistaken. Harrison, man, thanks so much for. Yes, I actually got the shirt on underneath. I wanted to wear my Daniel Jones jersey, but Harrison was nice enough to get me a Giant shirt all the way from New Zealand, man. I couldn't say thank you enough, man. That was incredibly nice of you. Thank you very much. He says, that's a nice shirt you wore in your videos today. Yeah, thank you so much. And David from Colorado, man, thanks so much for love. He says, what's up? And Al Bats, he says, see
My
the
guy.
dog. Nothing better. How are you two? We're doing good, man. We're doing good, Baddog. How about yourself?
We're doing good. You know, if I ever needed somebody to collect, I just call my man Al Bats, and we, nobody. It's amazing. Nobody owes me money. That tells you how good Al does.
Al, man, Al's a tremendous supporter of both of ours. Thank you for being here. And Zuhaib says, top competition to track during training camp. There's a lot, and thank you to everybody for being here. Really appreciate it. There's a lot of competition regarding training camp. I've talked about it in some of my videos, but we'll talk about it now. I mean, it starts with now it might be, we'll have to wait and see. Again, I'm not jumping the gun, but if Baker's not going to be the outside corner, that's going to be a huge competition, whether or not they bring in a free agent or whether or not, like you said, Julian Love gets that opportunity or Darnay Holmes or somebody on the roster. That's going to be one of the points of emphasis. But, I mean, there's a number. The backup running back, the starting center, there's a lot. I mean, in terms of who's going to get the majority of the snaps as the edge rushers, the slot corner. Now that might not be a battle because maybe you move one of them to the outside, but there's a lot of battles going into the training camp. That's not even talking about the undrafted free agent wide receivers.
Yeah, I actually I didn't get a chance to make a video on it. I kind of was going to just because there's not much to talk about. Obviously, the DeAndre Baker thing gave us a little content, some updated content, but there was discussion about Devonta Freeman coming to the Giants, and again, Devonta Freeman's obviously fallen off. I mean, a couple of years ago, he's one of the best in the league. And at the same time, and that's the thing, I was thinking to myself, that might not be a bad idea. We don't have any depth to run it, but really don't. I mean, we got a 29-year-old Dion Lewis that, he's a guy that is a third down back, and it's always ever been. He's not going to shoulder the load if God forbid something happened to Barkley like it did last year. Wayne Gallman's not that guy. That's why I think Javon Leake has the best chance to make the team as an undrafted free agent, because I think Javon Leake will be better than Dion Lewis and Wayne Gallman. But again, I don't think Javon Leake is that guy that's going to shoulder the load, so it wouldn't be a bad idea to bring in the Devonta Freeman to take a look at him. But I think that backup running spot is definitely a huge competition because I don't think anybody has that sewed up. I really don't. Barkley's number one, obviously, but the backup running back position. And yeah, now that, the opposite corner of James Bradbury is going to be open, that's going to be a competition between probably Beal, Love. You might look at Darnay Holmes over there. But we'll have to wait. We'll have to wait and see exactly what happens.
Yeah, I saw the I saw the article on that. I forgot who wrote it, but yeah, I did see the article where they said that Devonta Freeman could make sense for the New York Giants. Maybe. I mean, who knows if he views this as the right fit. They already, like you said, we already brought in a veteran with Dion Lewis, but maybe it could be an ideal fit. Again, it depends on the price range and whether or not they'd be wanting to bring him in, but it doesn't hurt to add competition specifically because we're pretty thin at that position. He's
not going to make a huge difference, but again, it's just for some depth and just to see, who the best guy for that job is.
Yeah, exactly. And Harrison, man, thanks so much for letting me in. I appreciate it. Baker need the professor of Money Heist now. Yes. Of course, he's referring to the great Netflix show Money Heist, which I love. And yeah, it's about them robbing a bank and getting out of tough situations. So yeah, he could probably use the professor right now. Benjamin, man, thanks so much for the love. He says Baker plus Rosas in prison equals Harold and Kumar. We'll see, but it does not look promising for either one of them. Rosas, I definitely think, is going to be cut by the Giants. I'm actually surprised that the Giants haven't cut him yet, to be honest with you, Baddog.
Yeah, I don't know what the hell they're waiting for. Maybe they're just waiting to do it face-to-face. Just tell them, get the hell out of here, you dumbass drunk. We don't need you here. We already had a kicker beat his wife. Now we got a hit-and-run guy. We got an armed robber. The Giants are covered. We don't have a murderer yet, but we're covering all the bases. We got Kyle Lettuce speeding through the speed zone. We got Josh Brown beating his wife. Got Aldrick Rosas getting in a car wreck. You got DeAndre Baker, armed robbery. Who else we got? Got Plexico Burrs shooting himself in the leg. I don't know what else we got.
Yeah, we got, and that's another battle that we didn't even talk about for the kicker position. I mean, that'll be a battle in training camp as well. If they move on from Rosas, I suspect they'll bring in a ton of kickers. People have talked about Gostkowski,
Cody Parkey.
Oh God. But no, they'll definitely bring in some veteran kickers, no doubt about it, to potentially take over that role that will be vacated by Rosas. So that's another camp battle, and it's not a great start for the New York Giants. If we do have a season, which we'll know very soon, it's not a very good start. If this is true, and they're going to have to get somebody to fill in, because we've talked about countless times that may be the most important position on this year's defense, that second cornerback spot.
Yeah. That's why I feel like DeAndre Baker would lead the team in interceptions. Man, this is what happens. You give your kid some credit. You say, all right, he's going to have a bounce back year. And then he does something really stupid. And I was even talking about this last night about how I still think that, because we were presuming he was innocent. Sitting there going, I think he's going to be part of the team. I still think he's going to lead the team in interceptions. And obviously that's not going to happen now. He'll lead the team in years behind bars, perhaps, if he's found guilty. But other than that, he ain't leading this team in anything. So, if this is the type of guy he is, good riddance. I mean, every time you think as a Giants fan, you've hit rock bottom and you can't go any lower, it gets lower.
Yeah, it's definitely been an eventful offseason. In an offseason that you would think we'd have nothing to talk about. You haven't had mandatory minicamps. You haven't had anything. We've been given plenty of news, and not good news, most of it, regarding the New York Giants. All we could hope for is, we get a positive outcome, but it doesn't look good right now. Zahid, man, thanks so much for loving me. He says, from his interviews, Baker looks socially weird. Agree. What did you get that? Did you get that impression at all with DeAndre Baker?
I just look at his eyes and know he's a freaking whack job. You always tell somebody about their eyes. Just look at his eyes, man. Listen, man, I study serial killers. You look in their eyes, and if there's no feeling in there and they're cold, look at his eyes, man. It's a mess. Yeah. Don't try one bit.
Yeah, you picked that up on him. You thought that just from his eyes.
Look at the thumbnail. I was like, damn, his eyes are like, man, almost Ted Bundy-esque.
We'll see.
Baker. Jesus.
What's going on, Tristan? Thanks for popping on the stream. What's going on, Yuri? Thank you for being here, man. I appreciate everybody for being here. Donald De La Haye, everybody's brought him up. Reagan, that's the YouTube kicker. I think he's got a YouTube channel, but here's what I'll say about him. And I know people get excited about him because he's, I guess, he's on YouTube and young people like him. But here's what I'll say about him, Baddog, is there's a reason he didn't get an opportunity with the XFL, let alone the NFL. So don't bank on him.
Listen, man, a kicker like that, that's like one of those long drivers. They go out there, they drive the ball 450 yards off the tee, and that's all they can do. They can't play golf just because they can drive the ball far. It's because this guy can make some trick kicks. Don't mean he can kick in the NFL. There's a much different aspect to kicking in professional football than, having however many takes it took for him to do some of those things. He's not doing it on the first take. So you can do a lot with video these days.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Benjamin, man, thanks so much for love, man. I appreciate it. He says, stand up, Asia Sexy. Baddog, I sent you the photo. What you think? Are you going to do it, or is Sports Expert going to? I'm worried about Chris over here. Can't let Greg get married first. Thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. I think he's talking about maybe one of those Tinder profiles. I
had no idea what the hell he's talking about. I haven't set his profile up. I haven't done into Tinder yet.
Thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. Al, man, thanks for love, man. I appreciate it. He says Baker supposedly stole $80K and paid them all $55K. Baker is a businessman.
Hey, he made a profit.
It's America.
He made $25,000. A capitalist.
Yeah, it's America. You got to make it when you can get it.
He's a businessman, but he's an idiot. It's funny. So I don't remember it was God, who put it on my comment section. I don't know if it was Mediterranean. I forgot who said it. They said, who the hell is this guy? I think he is. He's like one of those shows, I almost got away with it. And the irony is I was watching I almost got away with it when I got that news. When I saw that. I was watching that. And I'm thinking, so yeah, it's funny. I watch so many shows on ID Discovery because I'm always about, the web of lies and obsession, dark desires, and all the serial. And it's funny how criminals always think they can outsmart the system, but there are some criminals that are just really stupid. And DeAndre Baker falls right into that category. You can't find evidence. You can't. If someone deletes a text, they can't recover a text, or they can't recover pictures, or they'll get on the phone and talk about their plans. What is wrong with you?
If this is accurate, supposedly the guy that was helping them out, I can't remember the guy's name, but he was the childhood friend of DeAndre Baker's, was communicating via Instagram message. Mm-hmm. And that is how they got what they mean.
How stupid are you?
How dumb can you be? If it's true, how dumb can you be? Meat Man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. New position battle is for starting inmate. Oh my God. And everybody say hello to Bobby. I just saw him pop in the stream. Everybody. Bobby, thank you so much for popping. Everybody say hello to him.
But I don't see Bobby anymore. Saw Whitney last night. I didn't see Bobby though.
I see Bobby every once in a while. He'll pop in every once in a while.
Bobby don't like us no more.
He likes to get the hellos. He likes to get the hellos.
Bobby don't come around no more.
Yeah.
When I do my 24-hour stream, Bobby will be there they'll be there for 21 hours. They'll fall asleep and then they'll wake up and say, "Hey, I'm still here."
And Chris Stops, man, thanks so much, Philip. I appreciate it. He says, the Tinder talking sports. How are you, you and Baddog? We're doing good, man. Chris Stops, man. Thank you so much for popping in the stream. And let's see what we got here. Somebody asked a question there. What's going on? I saw somebody in here. Giants Alliance, I think, was in here. I wanted to give him a shout out. Dyer Giants fan in here. Thank you for being here. George says, do you think that somewhere in the desert villages is there a 6'7", 350-pound man tank? I don't know what you mean by that. I don't know where you're going with that, but I guess we could use another hog molly. P-Coop says, Chris, new trade alert. Bill O'Brien is working a trade with the Giants, including 2 first-rounders and a 2nd-rounder for Baker and Rosas. I believe it, Bad Dog.
I don't. Yeah, it doesn't surprise me either. Bill O'Brien does a great job there with the Texans, and hopefully, I don't even know who the hell they got on our team. We got our quarterback. I was gonna say maybe you send Deshaun Watson over here, but we don't need him. I don't know who the hell else they got. You could say you could send Watt over here for nobody. Take him.
Yeah, if there was a team that would probably trade for those individuals right now, it would be the Houston Texans. Bill O'Brien's done a hell of a job over there. I'm trying to prop him up so he tries to make a trade with the Giants. Hopefully he's listening to the show.
Dave Gettleman should be on the phone with him every day.
Yeah.
Try to make something happen. I think Bill O'Brien thinks he's playing Madden. He's just, I don't know what the hell.
How does Bill O'Brien still have a job? I don't understand it.
He's got to have blackmail on somebody or something. He's got to have some pictures. Maybe he's got some. Maybe he's got some Instagram DMs or something. Who the hell knows? I don't know how half these people have a job. To be honest with you,
Lucas says, talk about how. I mean, Bad Dog and myself, we watch about 3 periods a year, so we're not the right guys to come to talk about hockey. But I saw Hot Take Hockey was in here, so if you like hockey, you go over there check it out.
Him or Sir Cardinal, that's where you guys go. But yeah, between us, Chris and I may have watched one entire hockey game this year.
Yeah, we watched about maybe a game and a half, and it might have been because I fell asleep on my couch and they showed a replay of another game. So, hi, man. Thanks so much for love. He says, aside from Barkley and Daniel Jones, who will provide the most excitement this year? Okay, I'll start. I'm going to say Joe Judge, actually. That's the guy I'm most excited about outside of those 2 players. But if you're asking me for a specific player, in terms of excitement, I'll go with Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton and Ingram or Slayton. Those are the 2 guys I'm most excited about on the offense, at least. Defense, I'll go with McKinney, but on offense, I'd go with Slayton or Ingram. What about you?
I'm going with McKinney. Came out with the bold statement last night. I said, this is a hot take. I said, Xavier McKinney will have as many sacks this year as Isaiah Simmons.
I saw that during your live stream.
I didn't know if you were in there or not.
Yeah. I saw that during your live stream. It's possible.
I honestly think that. I think McKinney will have just as many sacks as Isaiah Simmons.
See, I don't know Arizona's defense well enough. I don't know how often they're going to blitz and everything, but based on the Giants' defensive philosophy, I do think McKinney's going to get a decent amount of opportunities to get sacks. I think they're going to send him a lot off the edge in terms of pressure. They're going to blitz a ton. So I don't think that's a horrible prediction, to be honest with you.
No, I think they both get about 4 sacks.
I can see that. I don't think that's crazy. What's going on, Jesse? Thanks for popping in the stream. I appreciate it.
If Jamal Adams got 6.5 sacks, there's no reason that McKinney. Listen, I loved Isaiah Simmons. Simmons is, my guy. I wanted the Giants to draft him because I'm a defensive guy. But let's face it, he had 8 sacks at Clemson. He played in a very weak ACC. He's not a pass rusher, man. He wasn't a pass rusher. I didn't want him to be a Giant because he's going to get to the quarterback. I wanted him to be a Giant because he was going to take away the middle of the field.
Right.
So that it wasn't because of his pass rushing skills. It was because of everything else. And yeah, when he blitzed a quarterback, he could get there in college. But McKinney is graded higher at every at pass rushing, coverage, everything. He graded higher than Isaiah Simmons. And yeah, because the Giants are because that's what Patrick Graham and Joe Judge are going to do, that Patriot philosophy where you're going to blitz from every angle, McKinney's going to have a lot of opportunities to have sacks, like you said. I do think that could possibly happen.
I definitely could see it, 100%. And Benjamin, thanks for love, man. I appreciate it. Carli Lloyd or Alex Morgan for kicker. I'm taking Alex Morgan. She's better looking and will do a much better job than Carli. Plus, Alex is from California, so I'm going with the hometown girl. Hey, listen, if she could kick field goals, Bad Dog, I'm all about it.
I'm wondering how much Benjamin actually loves his woman. Like, if you've been married for 20 years, I understand all the talk about that, but the guy's barely been alive for 20 years. What the hell's going on out there right now?
He's got a wild mind. He's got a wild mind.
He's 21. I mean, I get it. I've been there. I've been there, Benjamin. Really.
And Saheed, man, thanks so much for the love. He says Simmons is a glorified strong safety. A lot of people compared him to Chancellor. I do think he's definitely fast enough to be a good, like you said, coverage linebacker. I think he's going to be a very good player. But, we'll see. I also think McKinney will be a good player. I don't think he's going to be as good as Simmons. I won't go as far to say that, but I do kind of agree with the sack argument. I could see that just because I think he's going to get a lot of opportunities to get sacks.
Yeah. I do too. That's the thing. I don't, again, Cliff Kingsbury, their defense at Texas Tech was no defense. And Arizona don't play a lick of defense. So that's why I really do. I think McKinney's going to rush the passer a lot.
Yeah, exactly.
That athleticism and versatility, I don't see why you wouldn't.
Right. So. Al Batts, man, thanks so much for love. He says we may have fill-ins, but at least we don't reference Hitler. Well, that's a positive, man. Though we don't have any players that do that.
Not yet, Al, but we're the Giants. I mean, Jesus. I mean, every time, like I said, I don't even know what the hell to say anymore. I give up. Brilly. I give up.
Yeah, Brilly.
Be out tomorrow.
Brilly. Yeah, at least to this point that hasn't happened. So that's a positive, guys. If you're trying to look for optimistic things to talk about this offseason, the Giants have had 0 Hitler references. So we got that going.
That's true. We've had 2 arrests, but no Hitler references. And Benjamin says, I'm talking about kicking footballs, guys. Nothing else. Get your minds out of the gutter. Why? I like my mind there, Benjamin. It's been there since I can remember. I don't want to take it out of the gutter at this point.
What's going on, Jesse Bryan? Thanks for being here. He says, you the man, Baddog.
Well, Jesse, how can I be the man when you the man?
And Rel Gott says, should we keep Nate Solder? And by the way, Jawad, thank you for being here. I always see you in here, man. I'll shout you out in a second. Nate Solder's going to be here. I've succumbed to that. Now, one thing I will say, Nate Solder did come out today. I didn't make a video on it, but he's the lead representative for the New York Giants when it comes to, player association discussions. And he did say that, the NFL is going to have to do everything in their power to get this season to work because players are fearing for their safety. But I mean, I just think that's common sense. But I do think Nate Solder will be here. The guy's making $20 million. I don't see him sitting out if there's going to be a season. Yeah,
I mean, we'll see what happens. I think the NFL will do everything they can to play the season. Too much money stands to be lost there. There's one sport that's going to play. It's going to be NFL football. It's too much money. Too much money for Vegas.
That's a good point.
They're not allowing that to not go by.
Yeah.
They'll cancel every other sport. They ain't canceling football. They'll cancel college football. They'll cancel the NBA. They'll cancel hockey. They'll cancel everything. They're not canceling football. Too much money for Vegas. It's way too much money. It's too much of a business.
Yeah. We'll I hope you're. I mean, I hope it's safe, but I hope you're right. I hope we do have football. I think we all do. Let's see what we got here. I wanted to get to Jawad. Oh, a message was retracted. Okay. Let's see what we got. Afghanistan. What's going on, my man? Thank you so much for being here. I'm going to go down to the bottom of the chat. And Vegas lost how much money since March? Well, yeah, they've lost a lot. We'll see. Basketball seems like it's going to go on as scheduled, which shocks me.
That's because they have the best commissioner in all of sports.
It was handled much better.
Adam Silver is the best commissioner. It's not
even close.
I should say I don't know the hockey commissioner, but as far as the 3 sports that I watch, it's not close.
Yeah,
Goodell and Manfred are idiots. I mean, they're complete and utter morons. So they don't have any idea what the hell they're doing. They got no idea.
Yeah,
they just fly by the seat of their pants. They got no organization skills. They got nothing there. They don't know, and they continuously change things. So who knows?
No worries, man. I was just reading Jawad's when you said that. I said no worries to him. He says, go back up. I had a spelling error. I will try my best to go back up and find the comment. Asia, thank you so much for tuning in. She says, stand up, my sex standard. Both New York teams won on MLB The Show. By the way, am I hearing this right? Did DeAndre Baker and Quentin Dunbar pay off witnesses? That's crazy. Okay. Nothing is confirmed, but there was a story that came out from the New York Daily News written by Pat Leonard that says that there's evidence. There's a lot of quotes in that article that it seems as if it's a distinct possibility. Let's at least say that, Asia. So
yeah, it's not looking good, Asia. We'll just put it that way.
Yeah, it's not looking good.
Looking good.
But Jawad, I cannot find it. But if you want to type it again, I'll try to read your comment.
I mean, Bobby's still here. Bobby!
Is Bobby still? I also see that the sports influencers in here as well. When can the Giants stop paying Baker? I mean, Sarcone, I would assume, and I don't know this, but I would assume if he's guilty, the Giants will not have to pay him. I would imagine.
Well, where the hell is he going to get the money? Yeah.
Right. Right.
Think about the money. The guy gets $10 million. You got to rob someone for 80,000. What the hell is wrong with you, man? What the hell goes up? What 80,000 isn't anything to you? You know, I mean, it's like $8 to me. I'll tell you, if I lose $8 in a bet, I'm pretty pissed off. So maybe it's more like 80 cents to me, but still, come on.
Yeah. LA Lou, man, thanks so much for the love. He says, is Baker worth the headache? Do you need him to have a successful defensive backfield? Cut him, let him get and re-sign him if you want. Listen, at the end, is he? I mean, I thought he was going to be a vital piece to this defense because I do think he was needed, and I think he was a guy that we were definitely relying on for the future, a first-round pick, guy we had high hopes for, but we traded up for. Yeah, but Lou, at the end of the day, I don't even think we're going to have to cut him. If he's ruled guilty, he's not going to be back here. So
I'm pretty sure there's got to be some kind of something in the contract. Convicted felon, don't need to pay him. I'm pretty sure the Giants get out of that contract if the guy's a convicted felon.
Yeah.
There's certain things in players' contract, like you can't go skiing. You can't do certain things that may injure you. Like there's certain things in their contract. Pretty sure one of them says no armed robbery. No skiing, no target practice, no armed robbery, no murder. I'm pretty sure those are in the contract.
Yeah, and if it's not, I think it's pretty much common sense. If it's not. Mark, man, thanks so much for popping on the stream. Great supporter of both of ours. He says, what's up, boys? How about we void Baker's contract and sign Clowney? Well, Mark, here's the thing. Clowney is going to get at least $10 million at this point. Baker's not making that. I mean, Baker's only making probably $2 million. He was a back end of the first round.
He made $10 million for his contract.
Made $10 million for his contract over the course of 4 years with an option for a fifth. So he's probably only making like $2 million in his second year. It would if they void the contract. I think they have $16 million in space right now. It would give them 18, but they haven't signed any of the rookies. So you factor in all the rookie contracts, that's going to equal at least $10 million for this year. You're really only working with $8 million. Then there's talks about Marcus Golden coming back, and that's going to be another 4.5. So there's not much to play with.
Which is exactly why we're not going to get Logan Ryan, which is exactly why guys are like, hey, Everson Griffin. The Giants.
Oh, Baddog, you went mute.
They're not bringing anybody else in here.
Yeah. The annual Baddog mute, that happens once a stream. It's all right. It's all right. It happened again. Now you're good now. Giants Alliance, man. Thanks so much for love. He says Julian loves Sam Beal, Ballantyne, or Darnay Holmes. If Baker's out, who has the best chance starting opposite Bradbury? Yeah, I mean, if they're going to go from within roster, Giants Alliance, I mean, Sam Beal's the guy that is supposed to be the exterior corner. Julian Love was never drafted here for that. He was drafted to be kind of a safety in a slot. Darnay Holmes, the same thing. That's what everybody said, even though he played on the outside in college. I think Sam Beal at least has a decent chance to get that opportunity. But, I mean, we've talked about this. I had you on the channel talking about this, and I think you favored Julian Love, and maybe it will be Love. I don't think Ballantyne's good enough to start, not yet at least. He's still, wet behind the ears. He definitely struggled last year. I would say it's either Beal or Love are probably my favorites to start on the outside if they don't bring in a veteran.
Yeah, I don't think Ballantyne. I think he's still incredibly raw, so I can't see him. I mean, he may get some. I mean, he might get some reps there whenever they go to training camp, but I can't see him being a legitimate threat to take that position. I do think it's between Love and Beal, honestly. I think Darnay Holmes, like I said, Joe Judge has talked about playing players at their strengths. I think Darnay Holmes, obviously, his strength is in the slot. So I think you're going to see him there at nickel corner. So.
Yeah, we'll see. But I tend to agree with you. Blue Scale, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. I'm late, but Jesus Christ, Baker. Yeah, that's been the primary topic of discussion. We will see. I mean, that's all we can say right now. It's nothing's definitive, but it definitely does. Let's put it this way. It definitely does not look as nearly as promising as it did before today with DeAndre Baker, according to that story. Let's leave it at that.
Yeah.
And not looking good, man. And Asia, thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. What's up with these teams and their offseason issues? Giants got players with low problems, and the Eagles have players that can't shut their mouths up. By the way, Deshaun Jackson just got fined by the Eagles. Yeah, I saw that, Asia. And thank you for your incredible generosity. Thank you very much. And Mark's in the chat. What's going on, Mark, man? Great subscriber, man. Definitely gonna have the Met content up soon. I know you're a big Met fan. As far as that goes, yeah. I mean, we've kind of talked about that too as well in the past. Players usually have structure in their lives. They usually have training camp. They usually, And maybe that has something to do with it. I'm not trying to make excuses for them, but maybe that has something to do with, and not to mention they're bored. You can't go outside. You can't have your normal routines. And these are young guys. They're 21, 22, 23, 24 years old. And maybe that has something to do with why we've heard about so many things. It's not just with the Giants. There's been a number of things this offseason with players in the NFL.
Well, obviously they're going outside.
Yeah.
You know, you got Dak and Zeke having gay parties or whatever they have. And, you know, Zeke got COVID and, you know, Dak wants $1 trillion, even though he stinks. And then, you know, you got, you know, Deshaun Jackson. This about. You got former Giant Cody Latimer of the Redskins also getting arrested. You know, you got
it's part of the
growth. You get what the hell, man. You know, what the hell?
It's definitely been a mess this offseason. Latimer, from what I read, I haven't kept up with that case. I think I made a video on that after. I think he looked as if there was at least probable cause, but I don't know all the specifics of that. But yeah, there's just been so much nonsense this entire offseason. Lou, man, thanks so much for the love. He says, as long as Baker is a Giant, he'll be a media distraction. Cut him and the questions go away. Quote, he's not our problem anymore. End quote. That might be what they do. I mean, that's
the
Giant.
Him.
I don't think they're keeping him. I mean, like I said, if there's any validity to these statements, I'm not gonna jump the gun, but if there's any validity to this, and it sounds like there definitely could be based on all those quotes, yeah, he's not gonna be back.
Ain't looking good.
Yeah, he's not gonna be back. Meat man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says they can make Solder opt out because of COVID and use his salary to sign Clowney. It's possible, Meat, and I don't know what the opt-out is going to be. They haven't come out with the specifics yet. I don't know if the player is going to get a portion of their salary if they do opt out, similar to like taking a sick day. I don't know. You know, they said that there's going to be a potential opt-out, but here's the thing.
I thought they said there's no repercussions if they do that.
Yeah.
No. In the NBA, I think they get their salary if they choose not to play.
So you're telling me he'd get $20 million not to play?
I'm pretty sure. I mean, as far as I know, I thought they said they get no penalty for not playing a season.
What would be the point in playing at all? If I was a player, I would sit out if I was going to get $20 million.
A lot of them may do it.
Yeah, if that's true, I don't know. You know, I don't know the specifics that. But if he could sit out and maybe get a point, I don't know how that's going to work. But if he's not getting his full salary, I think he's going to try to play, being that he's the highest paid player on the team. But we'll see. But thank you so much, Meat. I appreciate it. Blue Scale, you wrote gay parties in reference to what you said.
I mean, you know, Blue Scale. I mean, what do you call them? I mean, it's, you know, listen, they went shopping for sex toys together, and now they're, you know, I mean, you know, Zeke is a little, I mean, everybody knows he's a little, he's got sugar in his tank. Let's just put it that way. Something wrong with that guy.
Storm and Norman, man, thanks so much for love, man. Well, welcome to the channel. I appreciate that. Stand up, new member. I appreciate that, man. And yeah, I'm going to have another members live stream probably in a couple of weeks. I think I had one, I don't know, like 3 weeks ago. So I'll have one soon. But thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. Benjamin with the $5 donation says, Chris, you should have taken the under. So far, it's been PG-13. You should be proud of me. I also think you're my long-lost brother. We have a lot in common. Maybe I am, man. And I hope that you keep it that way, because I need you to get some love from your girlfriend. Thank you so much for love. Saheed, he says, Clowney is overrated. Let's draft an elite edge. Well, Saheed, if they were going to sign Clowney, it would only be for 1 year. It wouldn't. They
would have already done it.
No, it's not going to happen. But you know,
Clowney's going to the Cowboys. If I have to pick, I think he's going to the Cowboys. And Bobby Jr. is doing good. Junior, little Baddog is getting big. He tells a lot of stories now. He talks a lot. I wonder where he got that from. But he's doing good, man. Thank you for asking. Little Baddog's kicking ass.
Yeah. Yeah, but yeah, I don't think the only thing that you could argue, I guess, is he would take away playing time from the younger players on the team. But yeah, I mean, for Clowney for a 1 year deal, I don't see really any harm in it. But they don't have the money. Golden's going to be back here. I mean, we have not heard anything about Marcus Golden and another team even being interested in it, which shocks me. Baddog. I mean, I'm not the hugest Marcus Golden fan. I thought he'd do well last year in the scheme. I never wanted to bring him back because of the money that I thought he would command. But if I would have told you no team, and maybe they will, you know, we have till July 22nd, which is 12 days away. But if I were to tell you no team was going to be willing to offer more than $4.5 million on a 1 year deal, you would have called me an imbecile, you know, before free agency started.
Oh, I would never call you that regardless. But I mean,
you would have thought it. You might not have said
No, I wouldn't have even thought it. You know, it's just, I mean, listen, if Jadeveon Clowney is still out there, and there's a lot of guys out there that aren't signed, you know, I think a lot of people would probably look and say Marcus Golden is really only suited for that Betcher system. Betcher's not a defensive coordinator anywhere, and they probably think this guy doesn't fit into our system. He's the 2 years he's had double-digit sacks were the years he was under James Betcher's system. So there's a good possibility that he comes back here, but who knows what his role is going to be with this team. The Giants went out and got Kyler Fackrell pretty much to take the Marcus Golden role on, and Golden may end up being back here. So you could see them split time there. I don't really know what his role is going to be. For $4.5 million, it's certainly not bad having him here for some depth, but hasn't been successful outside of Betcher's system.
Yeah, rotational edge. That's what he is. And Robert, I wanted to answer your question, then I'll get to Lou. He says, Chris and Baddog, good evening, fellas. Robert, man, thank you so much for being a member of the channel. Thank you for being here. He says, so are we screwed with Baker? Any comp picks for him? Well, it's not going to be comp picks, because the way the comp picks works, Robert, is when somebody becomes a free agent, you're compensated for them leaving the team and signing somewhere else. So there will not be any comp picks, but if he leaves, we won't have to pay him the rest of the money on his contract, but it wasn't that much money to begin with. We're not talking about a guy that was drafted in, where Saquon Barkley was drafted. We're talking about a guy that was basically a second-round pick. So we're not going to be saving that much money. It's like $8 million over the course of the next 3 years. So it's not a whole lot of money. But it's a tough situation, man. It really is. And that's all I can say about it. Lou, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, I think Solder will be better under Colombo right tackle. And I hope so, and I agree with you. I think the offensive line is definitely going to be better under Colombo. I think that's one of the coaches that we're most excited about. Yep. I said the thing that I think is going to help the offensive line the most is just the fact that Daniel Jones is more experienced. But yeah, Colombo should certainly help that. And I think it's at least an interesting debate, because there are so many Giants fans divided on this. Some Giants fans want to leave Solder on the left side, and some Giants fans want to put him on the right. I personally want to move him to the right. I want to get Thomas acclimated, but I can see the argument for both. But yeah, that'll be an interesting storyline going in. But yes, I actually have Nate Solder pegged for a bounce back season. Now that doesn't mean that he's going to be good. It just might mean that he's adequate.
You can deal with that, because he was terrible last year.
Yeah, I think he'll be better next year, but that's impossible not to.
He can't be worse. The only thing that could be worse if he goes out and he robs an old lady or pushes her down in front of a car when she's crossing the street.
What's going on, MMKG, man? Thanks for being here. Blue Scale with the $2 donation. Imagine getting 10 sacks and no interest. Yeah, that's what I don't understand. And I know he's scheme dependent. My main theory with that, Bad Dog, I was thinking about it. Well, I actually talked about it in my Marcus Golden video I did like 2 or 3 weeks ago. He has an injury history, and you're in a climate now, and it's the same thing with Clowney. Clowney has an injury history, and maybe teams feel like they can't do a traditional physical, and that's why they're kind of scared off from signing him right now. Maybe that's the case with Marcus Golden. The guy's had a couple of injuries. I can't really come up with another rational explanation, because, yeah, he's scheme dependent, but the guy has proven he's had 2 years. He had 12.5 sacks 1 year, 10 last year. He could get after the quarterback in the right situation. And you would think there'd be a team that would throw a dart at the dartboard for $5 or $6 million. That's nothing.
You would think, but maybe they don't feel like I said, he's going to make an impact on their team. It's not worth it. They're kind of set with what they got. He's not going to be able to come in there and learn the playbook. They have no practice. They have no nothing. So maybe they're just like, why are we going to spend $6 million on a guy that outside of those 2 seasons really hasn't done much with an injury history? So, that could very well be why they're doing it too. I don't know. I don't think anybody's going to sign him at this point. And I don't know, like I said, I don't know what his role with the Giants is going to be. We'll just have to wait and see. I personally think it'll be a situational pass rusher, nothing more than that. Brandon, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. He says, I wouldn't play if I was Nate. Doesn't his son have a chronic illness? That's just me. That's true. He does. Last year, he had to go through that all year, and maybe he won't play. I mean, he came out and talked about it today, and if he doesn't, well, at least the Giants are kind of in a situation where they have some depth at that position for the first time in forever. So I would think Cam Fleming would probably be the opening day starter if Nate Solder wasn't going to play, being that we kind of brought him in here to be the swing tackle to begin with. So I think he'd probably get the first crack. Yep, him and Nick Gates probably is what you would see over there at right tackle with Matt Parrott waiting in the wings. What's up, Storm and Norman? I see you in here. Big Cardinals fan. It's great. I got a lot of Cardinals fans on on our streams. I love that, man. The Arizona Cardinals guys in here representing. And Dire Giants fan, you're the man. But thank you for dropping the link to my channel in the chat, buddy. I always appreciate it.
Yeah, I meant to say that, guys. If you guys have not done, so we just do this every week. So I'm just I just feel like everybody in here is probably subscribed to most of us already. But if you guys have not done so, I'm sure one of my mods could put the link in the chat. Please subscribe to Bad Dog Sports. We'll be over there next week, continuing the show. So thank you to everybody for being here. I really appreciate it.
Next week.
Alvaro says we could draft a corner next year or sign one next year. Yeah, I talked about that as well in another video, and I know a lot of Giants fans may not want to hear that. if DeAndre Baker's cut, that definitely opens up the possibility, at least, that the New York Giants could draft the first-round corner next year.
I still don't think they're doing that, man. You need a pass rusher.
Yeah, I'm not saying they will or won't, but it's definitely a possibility because look at this roster right now. Who can you really trust? Bradbury's only up for 2 more years. We don't really have an exterior threat that you could really trust. I mean, Beal's always hurt all the time. I'm not saying it would happen, but it's certainly a possibility.
I have to look at the free agent market as well. I mean, we're gonna have a lot of cap space, but I feel like a good pass rush covers up a bad corner as opposed to vice versa. You know, if you have a decent corner, but you're not getting there, and the quarterback has time to survey, I don't care how good you are as a corner, you're gonna give up those yards. Whereas if you have a corner that's adequate out there, a weakness, and you got a guy getting to the quarterback, and the quarterback's got to get rid of the ball sooner than later, it can cover up the bad cornerback. A good pass rush covers up a weak secondary. A strong secondary doesn't cover up a weak pass rush. So I just think that pass rusher is more important. I think you can get by with Julian Love out there at corner if you got a guy like Melvin Ingram coming in here, Melvin Ingram coming in here and kicking some ass. So. We'll see.
I would definitely like a pass rusher in free agency. That's for sure. Zahid, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. Where can we buy real players' jerseys, y'all? # New York Giants. Where can
NFLshop.com?
Yeah, NFLshop.com. And online. I mean, that's where I bought my jersey giveaways. I'm sure you can find it online. But thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. Blue Scale, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, what do I have to do to be recognized as a true fan here? Just kidding. Your vids are always awesome. I'm sad Jones might not have the second year. Oh, Blue Scale, man. Thanks. Of course, man. Everybody in here is great supporters of all of this, man. Thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, I'm sad Jones might not have his this second year. Well, we'll see. I mean, it's not just Jones. It's everybody.
They're going to play.
Yeah, I think they're going to play. I'm not going to say it's definitive. I'm trying to remain optimistic. But I think they're going to play. You know, obviously, you're hearing all the reports about college football and everything else. I think people are getting scared. But I agree that the NFL is going to do everything in their power to play for sure.
I think you're going to get a good look at what happens with baseball and basketball, especially more basketball. Baseball doesn't really have a lot of contact in it. They naturally social distance pretty much, except for when you're in the dugout. But basketball will tell us a lot. You know, they're not going to be wearing masks on the court. They're going to be banging and bumping into each other. They're going to be sweating all over each other. So you're going to get an idea of how that works. And if, they're not going to have a big outbreak of it in the NBA, then I think the NFL has got a chance. Now, obviously, there's a lot more people on an NFL team than any other professional sports team. So obviously, you're going to have more cases just because of the numbers. But I think the NFL will do whatever it can. Like I said, that's too much money for them. They can't lose that. A lot of money. And like I said, not just for the NFL, but Vegas and everything else.
No, it's definitely the most popular sport.
TV contracts, all that stuff, man.
Yeah. No, the NFL is a huge, huge money generator. And we'll see. I got my fingers crossed, that's for sure. Let's see what we got here. Tana, do you have the inside scoop on the new Skins name? I've seen it might be. I've heard a number of names. I've heard Red Tails.
Red Tails.
Red Wolves. Red Tails sounds pretty cool.
I've heard Giants bitch. I've heard the floors because we sweep them all the time. I mean, I've heard a couple of those.
I just hope the one thing I hope with the Redskins, it sounds like they're changing the name. I hope they don't change their colors, because we're so accustomed to the red and yellow.
They're not changing the burgundy and gold. There's no way. There's no way they're changing that. And honestly, they're gonna have to come up with a different song though. I don't think they're not going to be able to sing that whole.
No,
we have to change all the verses to that.
Yeah,
does not make any sense if they say something else, because it obviously can't be an Indian tribe, which is pretty much what they're saying there. There's nothing racist or prejudiced about that name, and most Native Americans don't have a problem with it. But it's 2020. I don't know what else to say. But you're not going to say hail to the Red Tails, and you're not going to say hail to the whatever you call it.
Or whatever. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
To me, it's just you're removing a lot of history from that franchise. That franchise has been around for 87 years. It's one of the original franchises, one of the oldest franchises, not one of the original one, but one of the oldest franchises in the history of football. And, I don't know. I don't even know. I'm baffled at the world we live in today. I don't know what else to say.
Yeah. Mark, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. We should have never won that Redskins game. We would have. That generational pass rusher and the Giants era begins. That game set us back big time. I mean, I get it. I get it. I definitely get it. You would have gotten Chase Young and something that we've needed really since the OC and Tuck days and JPP. So, yeah, I mean, Chase Young's supposed to be one of the best pass rushers in football. But if Andrew Thomas works out to be an elite left tackle, it's not the end of the world.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I love Chase Young. I watched him all year. I was on that band. I mean, I had that video out in November, unfortunately, because our season was over by November, about who would you rather have, Chase Young or Andrew Thomas. That was there, and you wouldn't think that would be an argument, but the fact of the matter is, if we did get Chase Young, you still have a big-time hole at the left tackle, and you still have a problem with Daniel Jones's blind side, and this is a young kid that's fumbled a lot, and he's, this guy's the future of your franchise. Your quarterback is the most important spot. I would love Chase Young here. But at the same time, Andrew Thomas fills a huge need, and that game is something Daniel Jones needed for his own confidence. To go down there in overtime, to drive us down for a victory, to throw over 350 yards and 5 touchdowns, no turnovers. That's something that can definitely give a young quarterback confidence. And there's no substitute for confidence, man. Confidence goes a long way in professional sports, whether you're a basketball player, whether you're hot as a hitter. When you're over 13, you go up there, you're probably thinking, a step in the box, it's already 0-2. But if you're 8-13, the ball looks like a beach ball. You're on fire. So I think it's the same way with the NFL, So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, my theory with taking the tackle, and yeah, I was on record as saying I would have taken Young. Young. I just thought he was too talented not to take. But my theory is if you can't protect your quarterback, you're not winning games at the end of the day. I think that was paramount, especially with a young quarterback. I think that the New York Giants needed to address that as soon as possible. And I think the Redskins are going to fall victim to that. Not to say that Chase Young's not going to help that team, but they've got a young quarterback over there that needs protecting. The Washington Redskins have a very poor offensive line. They did very little to address that, and we'll see how that affects them this year with the development of Dwayne Haskins.
We know how it affected Eli Manning, who was a 2-time Super Bowl MVP.
Right.
New offensive line and not a very mobile quarterback. And Dwayne Haskins is not a very mobile quarterback, and he was very bad in the face of pressure, even in Ohio State when he was on a superior team. They don't have a tight end outside of McLaurin. I know a lot of Redskins fans are like, well, they got potential, but potential doesn't mean anything. Potential means what if? It's a big question mark. Their offense is not good. They got Adrian Peterson, and I love AP. But AP, he's human. The guy's getting up there. Darius Geis has been injured a lot. And, I don't know what Love is going to bring to that team. Bryce Love, I mean, he didn't even see the field. He was also hurt. So there's really nothing there that scares you. There's front 7 on defense is formidable. But, man, if you can't protect Haskins and you took him 15th overall and you missed there, that sits your franchise back too. Because Kyle Allen ain't going to be the guy either. So, like I said, this happened with the Giants, and as Giants fans, we saw Reese continuously neglect the offensive line for years and years and years. And when he did address it, he did it terribly. He did it with a bust like Eric Flowers, with a guy like Justin Pugh. We put a right tackle and was a train wreck moving to guard, and he was a little better there, but he never did anything to help Eli Manning. So Eli Manning's second half of his career, and the Giants suffered because of it. So the Redskins, Chase Young's awesome, but like Chris said, they didn't address that O-line. Haskins struggled mightily last season, and we'll see what happens this year.
Yeah, and the other thing I want to make a point of, and then I'm going to get to the rest of the donations, it was a rich tackle draft. You don't know, I know next year there's supposed to be a really strong tackle, but you don't know where you're going to be picking.
Right.
So the Giants had an opportunity to take a great tackle. They got one. You got to be happy with that as a Giants fan. I agree, Chase Young would have been nice, but our offensive line was really poor. We needed to address that.
Yep.
So it could definitely work out.
It couldn't have went bad either way. Either way, we were going to get something we needed. But
yeah.
At the end of the day, I don't know how. Looking at the future of the team, I think like next year, immediate impact. Chase Young going to have a more immediate impact than Andrew Thomas. But by year 3, you may be saying, "Wow, Andrew Thomas was the guy," because Daniel Jones may be making the Pro Bowl every year, and the Giant, he may be upright throwing 37 touchdowns, or Chase Young getting 12 sacks on a team that can't score because they couldn't protect their quarterback. So.
Yeah, and look at the Jets. Look at Sam Darnold. I mean, they did him no favors.
I mean, he stinks. I mean,
they did him no favors though. In his second year, they didn't draft an offensive lineman. Nope. They did in his third. Fix the O lineman, and that's my kind of username, man. Thanks so much, Philip. I appreciate it. If the Giants are 3-6 and Solder is struggling, why wouldn't we play Parrott? I think at that point you probably do if you feel like he's ready. You're not going to just throw him in if you don't think he's ready. The reason that you wouldn't put him in if he's not ready, you don't want to get your quarterback killed.
Right.
So that would be it's not like a guy like Julian Love, who we threw out there, even though maybe they felt like when they first threw him out there, maybe he wasn't ready. Obviously, he proved that he was. It's not, an offensive lineman. You want to make sure your quarterback is alive at the end of the season. So that would be the reason. If he wasn't ready, you don't want to experiment with an offensive lineman.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. But thanks for love. I appreciate it. And Blue Scale, man, thanks so much for love. He says Foreskins, new name. It's not a bad one. It's not a bad one. I've heard.
We talked about that last week when the Meat Church was in the chat, and we were talking about what their the logo would probably look like, something you'd see at the top of the Meat Church. So
yeah,
I don't see
Nick. Nick the Wake with a $2 donation says, "Bad luck, good luck at the casino."
Thank you.
What are you going to be playing? What do you play? Blackjack?
I play Let It Ride.
Let It Ride. That's a good game.
Play Let It Ride. I did really well on that. I have good luck with that. I don't have good luck with that, but I'll play that for a while, and then I'll just go hang out at the slots and just sip my Jack and Coke and just chill and just I don't know, hopefully win something. I don't know. Like I said, before dinner I might go live. Normally I'm live on Saturday night, so I say maybe I'll take an hour when I'm in the hotel room and I'll just I'll just hang out. Yeah, she's amazing. Look at her. Asia's the best. She's the best. What can you say?
All right, I'll get to that in a second. Danny, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. He says, in next year's free agency, would you rather have Joey Bosa, who's an edge rusher, or Patrick Peterson, who's a corner? That's a really good question. The thing is, Peterson, I got to look at his age. He's like 30 by now. I know Bosa's 26. I think Peterson's definitely older, right, Baddog, if I'm not mistaken?
Peterson, I'm sorry.
Patrick Peterson, free agency.
Cardinals. Oh, yeah, he's older. He's older. I got a fly buzzing around here, so it's just I'm a little distracted right now.
Yeah, Danny, that's a good question. I would rather have Bosa, and I don't know, I know Surtain, I think his name is a good corner next year, but I know that next year's class, at least as of now, the way it looks, doesn't look to be a rich edge rusher draft class. So I would say I would probably lean towards addressing the edge rusher in free agency if I could.
Yeah, like I said, an edge rusher can hide a weaker secondary. It doesn't happen the other way. So I'm definitely more of an edge rusher. The Giants haven't had a good edge rusher since JPP. So we need one.
Yeah. And I saw that Jarvis Juice Landry's in here. What's going on, my man? Great subscriber, both of ours. Zuhaib with the $2 donation says 2020, craziest year since I was born, 1991. I was born in 85. And I'd have to think 'th it, but it's got to be.
Oh, God, you guys are young. Stop.
It's got to be up there for the craziest year. I mean, when
1991, my God, I was in 10th grade.
But can you think about a crazier year in your life? I mean, when you factor in the virus and everything else?
That was a pretty crazy year. I turned into a man March of 91, so remember that one pretty well.
I don't mean you as an individual. I mean the country.
Benjamin, where are you at? That was the best 180 seconds of my life. No, I'm just kidding. Anyway, guys.
You lasted that long, huh? 180 seconds? I was like 150.
I couldn't believe it. Real dynamo. Anyway, that's for Benjamin.
Yeah.
No, I mean in the 80s, there's a lot of crazy stuff, but I was too young to probably remember it. And as a kid, you're pretty oblivious to a lot of stuff. 2001 was pretty crazy, with the 9/11 stuff. But yeah, I can't remember a crazier year than this. I mean, nothing like the COVID-19's ever hit the country since I've been alive. So yeah, I'd have to agree. I don't think anything has been crazier than this year.
Yeah, it's been a complete craziness. And PTA Sports is in here, by the way. I just saw him pop in. If you haven't done so, please subscribe. I saw Melvin Martinez, and I never see the numbers. He said there's like 230 in here. There's only 80 likes, and he said, Baddog, show him how to do it. So I guess he wants you to.
Oh, yeah. So I'm looking at StreamYard, so I can't see any numbers. But I do see it now. So there's 86 likes, 234. So 100 likes, man. Make that happen. Where's Hakeem J? I mean, don't see him no more.
Thank you so much.
100 likes. I see 89. Come on.
Storm and Norman, man. Thanks for the love, man. He says, what do you guys think of the alternative medicine like marijuana in every sport? I believe the NFL recently welcomed it. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thanks. Storman, I have to look into that. I know that the NFL definitely loosened on their drug policy. You don't get suspended after, I think 2 weeks in, they don't test if that's what I remember correctly. But yeah, I mean, I think that's something that's definitely going to come to the forefront, whether it's this year or in the near future. It seems like the country's definitely loosening up on the legalization of marijuana, specifically if it's for things like, that could help you with injuries and things like that. So yeah, I'm completely for it, to be honest with you. I don't weed, but I'm completely for it.
I was gonna say my chat's for it.
Yeah.
420 crew always, 420 crew, smoke them because you got them.
Yeah.
3 weeks.
Yeah.
3 weeks, smoke 'em.
But I'm completely for it if it could help. And Blue Scale, thanks for love. I appreciate it. I think Justin Pugh was good, honestly. Pugh was solid. He just wasn't great for where he was probably selected, but he was solid. Once we moved
he was a bad right tackle, which is
once we moved him, he got better.
They moved him. He was good.
Yeah. Yeah, he wasn't let's put it this way. He was leaps and bounds better than Eric Flowers.
I mean, yeah. I mean, who isn't?
Thank you so much for loving Asia, you don't have to do that. Thank you for your incredible generosity. Says this is for Baddog. I just heard your name is not Kevin and your name is Sal.
No, my name is Kevin. My middle name is Sal, but my name is Kevin.
Okay. Yeah, I knew that. Yeah,
a lot.
Yes. Yeah. She said, "Is that true, Baddog?" By the way, great video, Chris, that you made earlier. Oh, and another thing, Chris, on your movie channel, I would love to see you react to movies. Then your channel would really blow up. You mean like trailer reactions? Yeah, I'm going to be doing that. It's just right now there's kind of there's a freeze, just like with sports. There's a freeze in terms of movies. So there's not a lot of new trailers to react to. But yeah, that's definitely something that I have planned to do. We're going to have some fun with that. Do new movie reviews. I'm having a lot of fun on that channel. I get to spend more time with my brother. So what's better than that? So Asia, thank you so much for the love. I appreciate it. PTA, man, thanks so much for being here, buddy. He says, what's up, guys? Anyone want to play cornerback? I think I think the Giants should hold a open tryout.
Vince Papale type of thing.
A little Vince Papale type of thing. I like that. Yeah.
I guess football movie Invincible. So,
it's just the wrong team.
Yeah, it's definitely the wrong team. But what can you do? I mean,
we had to relive the Miracle at the Meadowlands.
I mean, listen, I think Fever Pitch is a great movie, and I hate the way it ends. I mean, they actually had to edit the ending because they thought that series was over, and they had to edit.
I didn't know that.
They had to add the World Series part in. Yeah, they were done filming, and they had to edit it and add that on at the end.
Wow, so they completely changed the storyline.
They had to, stupid freaking Jimmy Fallon. He's a Yankee fan playing a Red Sox fan. Like, what the hell, Jimmy? Like, what are you doing? It's a great movie. I mean, I can't even deny it. I love that movie. I think it's hilarious. Like I said, it would have been funnier if the Yankees actually closed that series out. But that's a Fever Pitch is a great movie. Talking about the wrong team.
That's funny you bring up Fever Pitch. I recommended it to Noah in my Discord.
Great movie.
It's a really good movie.
And Drew Barrymore is adorable.
She is beyond adorable. She is. That was her heyday. That's when she was making movies every 6 months.
Yeah. The Wedding Singer is another one. She's just the cutest little thing. Drew Barrymore was adorable.
Oh, she's the best. And I see Whitney's in here. We were talking about her earlier.
Yeah, she is.
Let's see what we got here. Yeah, Fever Pitch was great. Baddog looks like Bobby or Michael. He says you look like a Bobby or a Michael.
I've never gotten Bobby. Michael, I've gotten quite a bit. I
could say the Michael.
I get Anthony a lot.
Yeah, I could.
Mike, though, I've gotten Mike a lot. Mike, Tony, Frank. I've gotten Frank a few times. Joe.
Yeah, I can see Joe. Joe's. Yeah, I could see that. I could see
anything Italian. That's my dad, though. My dad's Irish. My dad was Irish, so Kevin's an Irish name.
And I see Sinor, man. Thank you for posting the Discord link there. I appreciate that. And Bigger Mike's in the chat. What's going on, Bigger Mike? Let's see.
Brendan says I can see a set. Well, that's my middle name. Salvatore's my middle name after my grandfather. So yeah.
Schlick Smith says, "Where do we submit movies for you to review?" Well, I'm not on this.
Him in a long time.
Yeah, I'm glad to see him in here. Schlick, I actually have a new channel. I don't know if you heard. It's called The Entertainer Talking Movies. So you could go on that channel and just post in the comments, and me and my brother will try to review it. We're gonna try to work on a video tomorrow. So thank you for popping in, though. I appreciate it. And there it is. Bigger Mike just posted the channel. And Bad News Bears is my favorite baseball movie of all time. There's a lot of great baseball movies.
That's a good one.
When
I was younger, one of my best friends told me when I showed a picture of me from like 1986 when I was in Little League, goes, "You look like Kelly Leak." That was the guy. I had the big sunglasses like that, and Kelly Leak. I said, well, if I could only have hit like him, I would have been all set. But I hit more like oh God, what the hell was the catch? Engelbert. I hit more like him.
Jawad says Dave G is going to get crucified if they cut Baker. It's a bit unfortunate that all this great work with the team gets overshadowed by stuff like this where he can't control what the players do. Yeah, I mean, we saw it the first time around when everybody thought that Baker was definitely going to be guilty. That was the first thing. The guy that wrote the article today, that's the first thing Pat Leonard did, and a bunch of other people. The media hates Dave Gettleman, and it's somewhat fair criticism. There were red flags on him. We found out about that after the fact. But yeah, Dave Gettleman, it's definitely going to be a not. Let's put it this way, not a good thing for Dave Gettleman. We'll say that.
I don't understand. Listen, Dave Gettleman, okay, there's red flags, but do you really think, okay, this guy's had some off the field issues, he's going to commit armed robbery?
No.
I mean, you know,
I don't think it's fair.
I mean, kids in college, when you're 19, listen, I don't exactly know what DeAndre Baker did, but we all do really stupid things when we're 19. You don't know any better. Okay.
Right.
Armed robbery is a little different story. Okay. But I mean, I don't know what he was doing. I don't think he got arrested in college. Maybe he did. I didn't know any of this stuff about DeAndre Baker because I don't follow college play unless they play for Oklahoma. The whole Joe Mixon thing, like I knew all about that. But like I'm not following DeAndre Baker off the field at Georgia. I just know how he played on the field at Georgia. I'm like, I want him to be a Giant because he's a great corner. It just didn't work out. But again, you do a lot of stupid things when you're in college, and a lot of guys straighten themselves out. I mean, listen, Eli Manning even got in trouble. He got in trouble for drunk driving, or
Peyton Manning got in trouble.
Right, it happens, you know. And what can you do? So Eli Manning got arrested for drunk driving or you know, public intoxication, whatever it was. I don't remember. So you're gonna go, I don't want nothing to do with him.
Right,
it turned out okay. Same thing with Peyton. You know, they turned out okay.
And when you win, people forget about it. Tyreek Hill, we all know he's got a horrible reputation. Nobody talks about that right now because he just won a Super Bowl.
Right.
You know, yeah, did Gettleman, I guess, roll the dice a little bit by trading up for a guy that had some red flags? Sure. Do I think it should cost him his job? No. And do I think people will make it out to be that is one of the things that should? Yes.
Anytime somebody hates on Gettleman and they want to pin something on him, they just wait for something like that to happen. So they can, I told you Gettleman's got to get out of here. I mean, Jerry Reese, you know, Ernie Accorsi brought in Plaxico Burress. You know, I mean, he cost us a dynasty, but you're going to get on Ernie Accorsi for bringing him in here?
No, you can't. You can't predict things like that.
Shockey was a moron, you know, on the field. I mean, but the guy could play, you know. So what are you going to get mad at every GM that you know brings in a guy that ends up with a crime? You're going to blame the GM every time a player does that?
Right.
I mean, that's not fair to the GM. You know?
Yeah. And BK, no, I saw the $200 donation. I already addressed it. Asia's incredible. Charlie, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it, Charlie. Says it never smelled right with the witnesses going back and forth. If all the latest is true, Baker and his lawyer might be cellmates. Yeah, that's what I was saying. Now, Charlie, I don't know about Baker's lawyer. The lawyer that was indicated in that story was actually the other guy's lawyer. It was Greco. It's not Baker's lawyer, but maybe Baker's lawyer is involved as well. But yeah, if this is all accurate and the lawyer knowingly set up a meeting to pay off witnesses,
oh, he done.
He's in trouble too, for sure.
Man, crooked lawyers.
Yeah, and we'll see.
Money talks, baby.
Yeah, money talks is right. Al Batts, man, thanks so much for love. He says, don't understand this Discord crap. Yeah, trust me, Al. It took me about a couple of weeks for me to get acclimated to that. Once you do, it's kind of fun. It's a chat room. Sometimes they're going to talk about crazy stuff, but yeah, usually, especially in season, that's when I think it'll start to get more crowded. Where, you know, when there's stuff to talk about, New York Giants stuff. Yeah, it'll definitely be a lot of fun if and when we have a season. So that's what I'm really looking for.
I had to get out of there. I signed out of Discord because my phone kept beeping at 2 o'clock, 3 o'clock in the morning. I'm like, you know, I got to sleep. I don't know what
there's a way to silence it.
So I just fuck it. I turned it. So I'm not in there anymore because I'm like, no, Baddog needs to sleep. Y'all can sleep until 2:30 in the morning and sleep until 2 in the afternoon. That's not how I roll. So I mean, listen, man, it happened to one of my group texts too. I had to mute that because the same crap was happening. Like, will you guys go to sleep?
Yeah, there's a way to mute it, but I still don't know how.
I didn't know either because I just been, and I'm like, you know what? I'm sick of hearing that thing.
And LA Lou, man, thanks for love. He says, Chris, it might be out of your comfort zone, but watch my favorite movie, Inherit the Wind, then review it. Let's see how it stands up. Yeah, Lou, do me a favor because I'm going to forget that. Write it in my movie channel. I don't know if you're subscribed to it, but if you are, I think you are. But if you are, just comment on one of my videos and suggest it. And yeah, maybe I'll look into it, man. I appreciate the love, man. Thanks so much. Let's see. We got no need to apologize. Baddog just doesn't want to be up that late. But there is a way to
Yeah, no, you apologize right now. Well, it's a West Coast for Senor, so that's the thing. If it's 11:30 there, it's 2:30 here, so it's not his fault. It's just it just is what it is. I'm not So what can you do?
Let's see what we got here.
Senor's my nephew. What the hell you want, man? Great cook, too. Still one of the funniest things I ever saw was him making that breakfast, and that top of that pepper came off, spilled all over his plate, and then he put the plate on the stove and
that was a classic video.
That was a classic. I don't know what the hell. Senor, put that video back up, please.
That video needs to be on YouTube.
Yeah, we need that, man. That was hilarious.
And Sebastian says, didn't get the notification for the stream. Thanks to Sports Expert for notifying me on the insider page. I really appreciate that. Thank you very much. Yeah, that's why I try to mention it in all my videos whenever I can, especially when I put out multiple videos in a day, which I couldn't help today because of the DeAndre Baker news. I've noticed that when you put out 2-3 videos in a day, you get less and less notifications as the day goes along. So that might be why you didn't get notified. But thank you to Sports Expert for posting it on there. I appreciate it.
I think YouTube must have a certain amount of notifications they give out. And they're like, you made enough videos, to hell with you.
Yeah.
Flying anybody. Yeah, you get 2,500, 2,200, and then 750.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what happens. Whenever unless it's a huge story and then people are looking to go to your page, then it doesn't matter. But whenever I put out 4 videos in a day, you'll notice not nearly as many people watch it originally because the notifications don't call it. Hey, Chris, how you doing, bro? You called that Baker crap weeks ago. I'm not trying to brag. I was hoping I'd be wrong, Aiden. And I just reacted on the initial evidence. I mean, basically what first came out was there was a warrant for his arrest and there were 4 or 5 witnesses willing to testify. So I think any rational human being would have initially thought that he's probably guilty. Maybe I rushed to judgment in saying he was guilty, but that was just my initial thought.
I don't think either one of us said he's actually guilty, but people made it seem like we said that.
Right. Yeah, we thought he was, but that doesn't mean that we were.
They were warrant out for his arrest. So
warrant out for his arrest, and there were 4 or 5 witnesses.
Thought so.
Yeah, I mean, I was hoping I was wrong. I never want anybody to go to jail.
Yeah, and then when it came around, they got the wrong guys, or he wasn't there, and this and that, and they were like, "Oh, good, he's gonna be innocent."
Yeah. And Storm and Norman, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. He says, a franchise wide receiver is crucial to a young quarterback's development. I'm glad Kyler Murray is DeAndre Hopkins. Now I feel for Daniel Jones because he would have had Odell Beckham Jr.
He's better off with Darius Slayton.
Yeah. Storm and Norman, I get what you're saying. I definitely get what you're saying. You look at Eli Manning early on in his career. We got burst. That definitely helped his development. Although I always say I think Eli got better after burst left because it forced him to scan the field. He used to always just throw up jump balls to burst, but it definitely helped Eli early on in his career. And yes, from a talent standpoint, Beckham would have been great for Daniel Jones, but who knows if he would have reacted the same way with Jones as he did with Eli. And with a rookie quarterback, you're going to struggle. So I see both sides of it. He could have both hurt or helped the development of Daniel Jones if he was going to be a distraction, complaining about the quarterback and everything else. If he was going to be a model teammate and not do that, yeah, he obviously would have definitely helped Daniel Jones.
Well, listen, I mean, there was all talk, and I fell into the trap thinking the Cleveland Browns are going to be great. They had too much talent not to be. Obviously, Freddie Kitchens was a terrible hire for the head coaching spot. Now, he may be a great tight ends coach for us, but he wasn't ready to take on that locker room full of egos. And just think about how much better Darius Slayton did with Daniel Jones as opposed to Odell Beckham and Baker Mayfield. Baker Mayfield was the first overall pick in the draft, and Odell Beckham is one of the most exciting receivers. You would think that, especially with Jarvis Landry on the other side, who's another threat, you would have thought Beckham would have blown up. Yeah. It didn't happen. He's talking about wanting to get out of there, wanting to go to Los Angeles, so the Giants sent him to Cleveland to die. He didn't even get off to a good start there. And Daniel Jones and Darius Slayton had a great rapport. Slayton blew Odell Beckham out of the water. And I just think that's better. I think it's better to have 2 rookies come up together. I think that helped the Yankees dynasty that all those guys played in the minor leagues together. I really do. I think that it helped Jeter and Posada and Andy Pettit and Mariano Rivera that they came up through the system together. They were comfortable when they came in the league because they all came in together. Yeah. So I think that kind of helps you. I think it helps when you have some other rookies that you can have a good rapport. That's why I think Caden Smith and Daniel Jones also found a rapport at the end of the year. So I think Evan Ingram's expendable if the Giants get off to a bad start. I really do.
I said it today in my underrated video. I think Golden Tate when I really looked at the numbers, he was a lot better than people give him credit for. Now, of course, he got suspended for 4 games. He only started in 11 games. He nearly had 700 yards in 11 games and 6 touchdowns. I mean, if he plays 16 games, Golden Tate would have went for 1,009. I think there was only 3 or 4 wide receivers last year who had 10 touchdowns or more. Golden Tate played well for the Giants last year. So I think for everybody that's and I'm not saying we don't need a premier wide receiver. We definitely could use one. I don't think anybody on this roster right now, unless Slayton blows up, is a premier wide receiver. I'm not going to pretend like they are. But I think our wide receiver core is better than some of these so-called experts are giving them credit for. Our depth, I question, but in terms of our 3 starters, I think it's a solid group.
Yeah, I do too. And that's all you're going to need. You get a good running game. You get a quarterback that don't turn it over. Listen, Eli Manning didn't have a great receiving core. I mean, it was very good. I mean, listen, Hakeem Nicks and
Victor Cruz.
Victor Cruz had that big season. Before they got there, it was Amani Toomer at the end of his career. It was Plexico Burress. I mean, I don't think Plexico Burress was a explosive guy. He was a tall receiver with nice hands. But he wasn't Odell Beckham. I mean, I don't think he was ever a top 5 receiver in the league. I don't think Toomer was ever a top 5 receiver in the league.
No.
I loved Steve Smith. Again, he wasn't a top. The Giants just had a good combination of receivers, which I think you can have now. You got the speedster and Slayton on the outside. You got Sterling Shepard, who I still think is a real talent. And you got, Golden Tate, who's one of the better slot receivers that gets, the yards after the catch, one of the best yards after catch receivers in the league in the last 6 years. It's good enough.
And don't forget Ingram. Right.
I forget all about Ingram, Chris, because he's on the field as much as I am for crying.
Yeah. But when he's on the field, he's a hell of a weapon.
There's a lot. The Giants have a lot of guys that he can go to, and you could also go to Saquon Barkley out of the backfield. You can also go to Deion Lewis out of the backfield. I think the passing game will be just fine. It's going to depend on the running game and the offensive line.
Yeah, the offensive line is where it starts and ends for this offense, and that's where it starts and ends for most offenses. Asia, thank you so much. She says, since I can't see my favorite YouTubers at Citi Field this year, are you going to collab together during the Subway Series? You always doing Giants? Yes, we are. We talked about that at the top of the show, Asia. We're actually going to do it regular season and preseason. I think it's the 18th and 9th. I think they play back-to-back days. I think the Mets and Yankees. So we'll just switch channels. We'll do one on mine and one on his, and then during the season we'll do the Citi Field games on mine and the Yankee Stadium games on his. So that's a lot of games. That's 8 games.
And Asia, by the end of the game, Chris is going to wear a Yankee jersey because he's going to have enough of watching the Yankees beat the Mets and he'll go, all right, Baddog, I give in. I'm a Yankee fan.
Oh, that'll never happen, unfortunately. I know it would be the right decision, but
what I want to do is a Subway Series and a World Series.
That would be the greatest stream of all time.
Let's do it.
That would be you want to talk about passion? You talk about Baddog being a Yankee fan, me being a Met fan in the World Series at the same time. That would be the greatest stream in YouTube history. But
the internet might explode.
Yeah, the internet might explode if that were to happen. What's going on, Gil, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. I appreciate it. The OBJ issues were just entanglements, Stan said. I mean, at the end of the day, let's move on from OBJ. He's not a Giant. I know this has been like a huge story now for 2 years. He's not a Giant. Let's move on.
Yeah, I don't know what else to say. He's not here.
Yeah.
Obviously, there's a part of me that thinks what could have been, but we'll never know. We don't have him anymore. He's in Cleveland for now, and there was always part of me that thought he'd be back here. Now I don't think he'll be back here at all, but there was part of me that thought he'd be back here at some point. Now I just don't see it now. But I let him know. I let him know on his video that when he comes back to MetLife, he's catching an L, and that's the only thing he's catching. I let him know.
And I see. I wanted to shout out Nikki. I think they asked us a question a lot. Who's Holmes' pro comp? That's tough, Nikki. But I saw you ask that a bunch, so I wanted to get to it. I mean, he's gonna be a slot guy. In terms of a pro comp, that's tough. I'd have to really, really think about that. He's fast. He's athletic. He runs a 4.6. He's short in stature. I'd have to really think about that. I can't give you an answer off the top of my head. I'd have to.
Yeah, really I can't think of any. I mean, slot corners. Your nickel corner is not something I normally pay attention to, as far as like other teams' defenses go. I pay attention to our nickel corners, but like I couldn't even tell you who the Cowboys' nickel corner is or the Eagles' nickel corner. So yeah, that's tough.
Yeah, I'd have to think. I'm sure I could come up with one, but I'd have to do some research and think about it. But Darnay Holmes definitely a guy I really like. But I want to make sure that you saw that I saw you. I saw you asked that a couple times. Kevin, man, thanks so much for the donation. I appreciate it. He says, "Hey guys, happy weekend. Imagine Baker somehow gets found innocent, then opts out of playing next season. In better news, my gym opens up on Monday. Let's go." Well, he lives in Europe, so that makes sense. Congratulations on that.
The only gym in the country not open up is in New York. That's it. It's the only place. It's the only place in the entire country where gyms aren't open.
Is that true?
Because our governor's worried about air conditioning.
I didn't know that. New York's
it's the air conditioner's fault. There's no the malls, the restaurants, the tattoo parlors, because that's a sanitary place. A tattoo parlor, massage parlors, they're all open because none of them have air conditioning.
Right.
Just the gyms, only their air conditioning is a problem.
Right.
Somehow, some way. So it's same thing in movie theaters. You guys can't open up because the air conditioning. And then they talk about the gym. Well, you're breathing heavy. Well, breathing is breathing. I don't care how. So if you don't breathe as hard, and you have COVID. So if you breathe but not at a certain rate, you don't spread it. What the hell are they talking about? Open the gym.
Jake says Jersey's still not open either. So
right, because you neighbor New York. So yeah, they're all in cahoots together. Jersey, Jake. It's ridiculous. Open my gym.
Please. And Lou, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, just subbed up your movie channel. So you did a video on Rocky. Ever notice you could talk about Rocky Balboa and only occasionally mention boxing? Yeah, I mean, listen, Lou, and I'm sure we've talked about, you've seen Rocky. I mean, Rocky's a movie that's impossible not to like. And yeah, no, you're right, though. There's so much more to that movie than just boxing. As a matter of fact, my brother and I talked about it in the review. The final scene's only 7 minutes of the movie. And obviously there's training scenes and stuff like that. But yeah, I mean, there's a huge love story.
It's about his life.
Yeah.
It's about his comeuppance from the gutter.
Yeah. It's
and
great.
As an Italian guy, that's as an Italian New Yorker, I mean, come on, man. It's sacrilege if people are like, oh, Baddog, you don't like wine, you're not Italian. If you don't like Rocky, you're not Italian. Okay. Yeah. I mean, that's really what it is.
If you don't like Rocky, Goodfellas, Casino,
Godfather,
Bronx Tale, you're probably not Italian. That's
right. I mean, if you don't like Rocky and you're Italian, there's something wrong with you.
His nickname is the Italian Stallion.
Right. I mean, come on, man. Hey, boy, you don't talk dirty about your sister.
Kyle, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, hello, guys. How we doing? The return of Zafluten Flus means the return of sports. Can we get a ridiculous predictions? By the way, Chris, check out the boys. I don't know what you mean by check out the boys. What is it? Do you know what he means by that?
No, I just saw Mike Francesa join the chat.
Mike Francesa is in the chat. Thank you for being here. I appreciate it. A ridiculous prediction. I mean, if you want a ridiculous prediction, I'll say that the Giants are going to go 10-6 and they're going to make the playoffs. There you go.
Ridiculous prediction.
And they're going to win the division.
Daniel Jones throws for 5,000 yards.
Anything's possible in today's NFL. I hope that's not the case because that means that we're not running the ball. And I think if we're going to win games this year, we have to run. But, yeah, I mean, anything's possible if the Giants have to air it out. I think 4,100 yards is the sweet spot for Jones, but it's possible. Let's see. We got
ridiculous. I mean, it's ridiculous.
No, you wanted ridiculous. So I'll say 16-0. Let's get real ridiculous.
Well, what are you, an Eagles fan all of a sudden?
No, if I was an Eagles fan, I'd say 19-0.
That's true. Well, Magruder, he says Cowboys are going 19-0, and and then he makes fun of me because I said Dak Prescott's not as good as Daniel Jones. I mean, like I said, Daniel Jones may not be, but you can debate that. You can find a way to debate that. 19 over the Cowboys, no.
Yeah.
No team in the history of the league's ever done it, but the Cowboys with an incredibly tough schedule and losing half of their defense, going 8-8 last season. Mike McCarthy's going to make all the difference when he couldn't win a lot with he's overrated as a coach. I'm not even going to get into it. I'll save that for the NFC East round table.
Oh, okay. That's what he meant by that. Okay. Thank you guys for letting me know. That's what The Boys is a Netflix show. Okay. I'll an Amazon show rather. I'll have to try to check that out for sure. I'm trying to catch up on shows. I said that on Twitter. Try to get exposure to some good Netflix shows, and somebody else just super chatted it. Zaib says, watch Unnatural Selection on Netflix. Y'all crazy how we can be biogenetically engineered living organisms, including us. I'll have to look into that. That's what's the name of the show? Let me see.
You guys, man, I wish I had time to do that.
Unnatural Selection. I've watched a couple. Right now, I'm in the middle of House of Cards. I never watched that show. It's good. I definitely enjoy it.
Back after this. What about number one? Tank Mush.
Oh, is that was that Francesa?
Like Francesa, back after this.
I haven't listened to WFN in a while, and I heard him the other day. I didn't realize he was back on WFN.
Oh, he's been there for a long time. Yeah.
No, I knew he came back, but I thought he left again recently.
Oh, yeah, he's back. Yeah,
he came back. Yeah, I thought he had he left again, and Francesa's never gonna leave.
You call me up there. You wait an hour on the phone and ask me if a deceased coach can be the head coach of the Knicks. Mike, I don't have a job. You don't have a job, really? Not surprised.
Oh, Francesa.
I love when they troll him, and I love how pissed off he gets.
Those prank calls are classic. And JJ, man, thanks for the love, man. He says you got to kill the witnesses, not pay them off.
I mean, listen, Jay, we're Italian. We understand that.
Probably the best idea would not to be using social media as ways of communication. Maybe use a burner phone next time. The
best idea is probably not to commit armed robbery.
Well, that's the best idea. that if you go back in time, get in the DeLorean, that would be the best idea. But if it was committed after the fact, probably would have been best to use maybe burner phones and not be on Instagram.
Yeah.
Maybe use sign language.
We all know DeAndre Baker is not the sharpest crayon in the box. We all know that. Didn't learn the playbook, falling asleep in meetings. Yeah.
Let's see what we got here. And I think everybody wants you to say that they're the man. Jared Williams says, Baddog, you're the man.
Jared, how can I be the man when you're the man?
And I just saw, I don't know if Nate, you were typing earlier. If you were, I apologize. He says, great stream, Chris. I'm a head out. But if you need anything for the channel, all right, my man. Thank you for being here, Nate. Great subscriber, man. I appreciate that. Stallone or De Niro, Tana? That's tough.
De Niro, way better actor.
De Niro's definitely a better actor. I love Stallone. De Niro's definitely, but De Niro's one of the top 5 or 6 actors,
my favorite actor
ever.
He's in Goodfellas and Casino. He wins automatically.
Game over.
But Midnight Run is a great movie. The Fan is a great movie.
The Fan is a great movie.
Irishman's a great movie.
The Score. I don't know if you've ever seen that. The Godfather, of course.
He's in everything. He's in The Godfather, Goodfellas, and Casino. He wins.
Game over. Yeah, I love both of them. Stallone's great, but I
Stallone too. Don't get me wrong.
I got to go De Niro as well. De Niro's De Niro.
Stallone, you got Rocky, of course. He got Rocky and Rambo. I mean, there's not another actor that has 2 great characters.
I was talking about this with my brother. Okay, so I was talking about actors that play 2 iconic roles because a lot of times when somebody plays an iconic role, it's tough to become a main star because you look at the guy who played Harry Potter. Everybody views him as Harry Potter. Harrison Ford is one of them.
But I know he was
Harrison Ford was Indiana Jones.
He was Jones, but who was he in Star Wars?
Han Solo.
Okay, because I know you're something in Star Wars, but I'm not.
Yeah. Stallone, you got Rocky Rambo, and Keanu Reeves was pretty big. He was Neo, and he was John Wick, which is a huge series right now. But I think Stallone is. Yeah, I think you're right. He played. It's very rare that you could find an actor that was able to play 2 iconic roles like that.
Rocky and Rambo, and then he was in Nighthawks, is an incredibly underrated movie with Sylvester Stallone. I love that movie. He was in some bad ones that I really like Over the Top.
Over the Top's great.
I know, but it's cheesy as hell. But it's not an arm wrestling truck driver, man. I mean, you don't get any better than that. Cobra was another terrible Stallone flick that was great.
What was the one? I forgot the name of the movie, but at the end, he's like dressed as a woman. Like that's the twist. He's at the kitchen sink.
That's Nighthawks.
That's Nighthawks. That was good. That was a good one. Yeah, I enjoyed it.
That's a great movie. Underrated as hell. Nighthawks is a great movie.
Yeah, he's been in a lot of good ones. I am the original Italian stallion. Carson Wentz says, "Well, Wentz, thank you for popping in the stream, buddy. I appreciate that."
I don't think Carson Wentz is Italian. That's not an Italian name. And he's got red hair. That doesn't. Demolition Man was a good movie. You got Wesley Snipes who played Simon Phoenix. Definitely a good movie there. So I said that was actually Sandra Bullock's first big movie, either that or Speed. That was definitely a good movie. Speed.
And Cheese says, "Entertainer, sorry I'm so late. I just ranted to all my friends about DeAndre Baker." Cheese was never apologized for being late. Thank you for being here at all. And yeah, we've been talking about him a lot today. So hopefully he's innocent. That's all I'll say, but it doesn't look good. Gil, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. He says, "What do you think about Arnold? I haven't heard you mention him yet." I mean, What's not to like about Arnold?
I mean,
Arnold's a freaking man.
He has a YouTube channel.
Does he?
Oh yeah, you got to. I follow it. I watch it.
Oh well, I got you now.
I know you definitely got to look at his YouTube channel. There's one where he's working out in the gym, and they're like talking to him while he's working out, and the guy says, "Have you ever been in the gym and just yelled get to the chopper as loud as you can?" So in the middle of the gym, he just goes, "Get to the chopper!" And it's hilarious.
I got to check that out.
Posts on there, yeah. A lot.
I got to check that out.
YouTube channels now.
Arnold's great. I mean,
Carr's got one. Odell Beckham's got one. Arnold. Russell Wilson, A-Rod. They got channels. So
I got to catch up on YouTube, man. I'm behind. But Arnold, of course, has been in, Terminators, Predator, so many great movies. Last Action Hero, Commando, and True Lies.
Twins, Kindergarten Cop.
Junior. He plays a pregnant man.
That was
it was bad, but it was a movie.
Pumping Iron, he's in Pumping Iron, which is a great movie if you're into lifting weights. About I think it's a 1975 Mr. or whatever I forgot what the hell that is. I think it's Mr. Universe, whatever he won a bunch of times in a row, going against Lou Ferrigno. That's a really good one too. All those weightlifters that were on the roids, jacked. But back in the day, you look at the bodybuilders back then. The bodybuilders, they looked so much better back then. They weren't all bloated with the HGH gut and everything else. They just big and bloated. They were really defined back then. So Arnold, I mean, when I started working out, I used to watch it all the time, just try to figure out exactly how the hell to get some kind of mass.
Oh. Yeah, he was Conan the Barbarian. I think it was his first movie, Mike. He said, or his first big movie. Like you said. And LA, man, thanks, Philip. I appreciate it. He says, you forgot about Expendable franchise. I want a number 4. The Expendable franchise is very enjoyable. It's definitely a throwback to the days of the 80s and 90s action movies.
If you're my age, you love all those guys. They're all your guys. Your Chuck Norrises, your Bruce Willises, your Jean-Claude Van Dammes.
All right, let's talk Van Damme. You got Hard Target. You've got
and he has a channel, goes by the name of Jet Central.
JV, yeah, I mean, The Expendables, like you said, it has all the epic action heroes all in one movie. You can't beat it. Jason Statham, who I like, more of a modern day action star. But
somebody at work tells me I look like Jason Statham all the time.
Well, you're built like him.
You look like Jason Statham. I think it's the bald head. I say that. I think it's the bald head and the body. Maybe that's why. But I don't know. He's Van Damme. Bloodsport. That's
Bloodsport's great.
Kickboxer. Death Warrant.
Steven Seagal was another good one. Another good action
star. I really only like Under Siege. I love Under Siege.
What was the movie? It's the famous scene where I can't remember the guy's name. He's yelling. He goes into the bar and he's looking for a guy and he keeps. Has anybody seen Ricky? I think it was. I can't remember the name of the movie.
I don't even remember because not Hard Target. Out for Justice.
I think that's it. I think it's Out for Justice. Anytime
you get a military movie, like anything to do with the military, I love it.
Yeah.
So that's why I think I like Under Siege so much, because it takes place on a naval ship.
Yeah. Absolutely. Asia, thank you so much for love. I appreciate it. Says, Baddog, did you see the X-Men Origins Wolverine yet?
I have not seen it yet, Asia. I'm back to work now. Like I'm at the office now. So the time is just I've got so little time. I don't even know how I find time to I don't sleep. You guys know that. I don't have a lot of time to sit down and watch a movie. Wish I did.
Gil, man, thanks again, man. He says Arnold was Conan the Barbarian, the Terminator, and he killed the Predator and Mr. Universe a few times. Yeah, and I'll tell you what, the second Predator was not nearly as good as, he wasn't in it, so it sucked. Danny Glover, you can't replace, and I love Danny Glover. I love Lethal Weapon. You can't replace Arnold Schwarzenegger with Danny Glover and expect it to be the same movie.
You can't replace anybody for Arnold and expect it. That's like somebody else playing Rocky.
Right.
You can't do that.
Yeah.
You can't do it,
Didn't work out very well after the fact.
But up in the 80s, those are definitely some of my guys, without a doubt. And I don't like comedies now, but I loved him in the 80s. Like I love the 80s, like Eddie Murphy, pretty much anything he was in, I loved. Even though 48 Hours it was more of an action comedy. I love that.
Oh, the movie's great. 48 Hours. They made 2 of them, right?
Yeah, the second one's not really good. The first one just cracks me up. And you know, you really couldn't get away with making a movie like that nowadays, but
Yeah.
it's hilarious. It's just it's funny. And then of course Trading Places is one of the all-time greats.
Coming to America. Yeah.
Coming to America, another one.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was good before he, picked up transvestites and paid.
Let's see what we got here. Speaking of replacing great Rocky, I like the two Creed movies. Yeah, the two Creed movies were really good. Not as good as Rocky
in that movie. He's not fighting, but he's still Rocky.
It's true. It's true. It's a good point.
Just like in Rocky Balboa, he does fight in that one.
He does, yeah. He's like 70 and he's fighting still.
Yeah. He's a vampire. You don't. There was always that talk that Arnold and Stallone didn't like each other, and then they ended up in the Expendables together. And one of my favorite part in the Expendables too, and my favorite part is when Arnold gets in a little whatever that tiny car Bruce Willis is driving, and he rips the door right off the hinges and gets in. And he goes, "I got shoes bigger than this car."
Yes.
And then Chuck Norris telling one of his Chuck Norris jokes. It's just such a. It doesn't even really have a plot.
It doesn't need
just throw them all together and do something, and it
doesn't need a plot. It
doesn't.
If you have a plot, you ruin the movie.
Right, and that's the whole thing.
Yeah,
let's face it, none of them are going to win any Academy Awards for great actors.
Right, right.
Film. And if you're a guy,
if you're going to that movie for the plot, then you shouldn't go.
Right, go somewhere else.
Yeah, go somewhere else.
But if you're going for a kick-ass movie with a bunch of guys that kicked ass in their 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s, 60s, and now 70s, then you go watch The Expendables.
Exactly. Storm and Norman, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, how can the NFL fix the running back pay situation? This is a question I've had for a while, both with the quarterback and the running back. He says, seems after the rookie contract, you either get replaced or if you're lucky, you get a one-time big contract. Fair. No, listen, the running back position is the most used and abused position in the NFL. Because everybody knows it's probably the position more so than any other where they're at their best really when they first enter the league. Mm-hmm. Maybe their second year in, and that is why these running backs kind of hold out after 3 years because they're fully aware of that. That's why Zeke held out. That's why these running backs expect that big contract after 3 years. But, there has to be some kind of revision to that. Maybe make it so that running backs and maybe positions maybe come up with a system where you figure out positions that don't last as long. Maybe they have the ability to hit their second contract sooner than other positions. I don't know the answer for it, but yes, it's a big problem because what teams do is they use these running backs their first 2 or 3 years in the league, and by the time they hit free agency, nobody wants them. Yeah,
that's what the Cowboys did with DeMarco Murray. I mean, they ran him right into the ground and let the Eagles take him, and he failed there, And that's true. Running backs usually, they're out of their prime by the time they're 27. Yeah. So really, it's like right in the middle of that second contract, or right at the beginning of the second contract, because most running backs are done at 26. So you're going to get your big contract, and I think the Players Association will go along with what you said, Chris. Maybe a running back can, maybe his initial contract is 3 years. And
they got to do something.
24, 25, and then he could get a 5-year deal and be done when he's 30. There's not many guys like AP and Frank Gore that can just last forever.
It's very rare. Very, very rare.
Those guys don't make it. Shady McCoy dropped way off. Tiki retired very young. Not that he had to.
Barry Sanders.
Barry retired young, right? There's very few running backs that are effective at the end of their career like they were at the beginning. They take a sharp fall. And a lot of that has to do with speed. Your initial first step at 23 is not the same as when you're 30.
Right.
And then with a running back, it's not so much the home run speed. It's how fast you hit the hole. It's getting to the hole because that's where everything is. You can run a 4.2, but if you can't hit that hole or find the opening, if you don't have good,
you're not worth a damn.
Dude, it's just like a John Ross who can't run a route or can't get open. It don't matter how fast you are straight on speed. That's why I think the 40 is completely overrated. Look at your shuttle. Look at that type of thing, or that 10-yard burst. Look at those things.
Right.
The 40's just, again, it's like the long drive. Yeah, if you get out in the open and you're flying away from everybody, it looks really good on ESPN. But if you run a 4.3 and you can't get out in the opening, what the hell good are you at that?
Yeah, it's a great point you bring up. But yeah, I've talked about that in the past. By the way, if anybody has not subscribed to Baddog, I'm sure one of my mods could put it in the chat. I appreciate it. Please go over there and check them out. But yeah, I've talked about that a lot on my channel in these live streams. that's a big problem in the NFL. If I was a player and I was a running back, I would want a revision to it. And that's why, like I said, they hold out when they do, and they expect that contract when they get it. And we've talked about it like this. If you're the Giants and you invested the pick that you did in Saquon Barkley, knowing that you're going to have to extend him, I mean, you spent the second overall pick unless he gets injured.
He's not going anywhere.
It's better to do it before the 5th year is up, because then you're extending him till he's 31, 32, and then you're just asking for trouble at the back end of that contract.
I think both he and Daniel Jones, after a 3rd year, Daniel Jones
has to prove he's worthy of it.
Step up, and the Giants got to get better. But and I think they will. But Saquon, if he has a big year this year, you gotta just make that move now. You gotta say, okay, here's your 5 years, $95 million or whatever it is, and be done with it.
Yeah, and maybe what you do, but I'm just thinking from my perspective, I might front load it, because knowing that the running back position
always front load a running back
does break down, maybe you pay him more in the first 3 years, and then if he does break down, you always have the option to get out of it.
Yep,
so that might be, and plus you give yourself more flexibility when you decide to extend Daniel Jones on the cap.
Exactly. So if you're going to give Barkley $95 million, maybe you give him, $75 of it the first 3 years.
Yeah.
And then, like you said, then you can get out of the contract if he ends up being really poor, as opposed to what Reese did when he backloads a contract. So that's what the Eagles have right now. They get a bunch of backloaded contracts with massive cap hits. They can't get rid of these older players, and that's going to get them eventually. Now, I know they draft, like Eagles fans, they came out with, we went from this to we're the 9th youngest team in the league. I'm like, how do you know? You don't even know who the hell's on your team. You don't know what your final roster is. So how the hell can you say you're the 9th youngest team? You don't know that. You don't know who the hell's on your team right now. You got 95 guys there. You don't know who the final 55 are, so you don't know how young your team is.
Yeah, and not to mention, whenever I hear people say that and they say the youngest, tell me, what your average age is in the positions that matter. Okay, you could have guys on the bench that are 21, but the guys that are actually playing, the offensive linemen, the defensive linemen, what are the age of those players? And you look at the Eagles roster; they're not incredibly young in the areas of most importance.
Alshon Jeffrey is not a spring chicken. Fletcher Cox is not a spring chicken anymore.
Deshaun Jackson, if he's still there,
he's definitely not young anymore.
Ertz isn't that young.
What's that?
Ertz isn't incredibly young.
Right. Ertz is 30. Ertz is near the end of it. Wentz is young. Miles Sanders is young. Obviously, Rager's young. Their draft picks are young. But their offensive line's not very young. You know, their secondary's not incredibly young. So I don't know.
Yeah,
they got a lot of bad contracts there.
And Council Fix, man, thank you so much for the super sticker. I appreciate. I don't know what he's doing, some kind of dance. There you go. I appreciate that. Thank you very much for the love, man. Baker's got it. Looks that way, Nick. And I'm not gonna fall in the same trap I did last time. I'm not saying that, but not looking good. Let's put it that way.
Help his case.
Yeah, he didn't help his case. Cheesewood says, entertain, I have a friend who's a top 5 running back in the state as a freshman, definitely going to the NFL. It's scary to think his career could be cut short because of how misused running backs are. Yeah, I don't even know if it's – yes, I guess they're misused. I just think it's the nature of the position. I mean, you're literally taking a ball and running into a crowd of 270-pound men. I just think it's the nature.
Tackled on almost every play. It's very rare that – your best running backs are getting – 14 touchdowns, but they're carrying the ball 350 times, which means, say they get out of bounds 50 times. You're still getting tackled 270 times.
Right. Yeah.
It takes a toll on you.
Yeah, it's the nature of the position. Unfortunately, that's their job. But very few, like you said, and we hope Barkley's that guy. I mean, there's very few running backs as special as Barkley, and there's very few running backs built the way that Saquon Barkley is. So if anyone is capable of being that guy, like you said, like a Frank Gore, it is him. And that's what we have to hope as Giants fans.
Oh, I mean, he looks up to Adrian Peterson. Peterson loves Saquon Barkley, and that is the big. There's never been a freak of nature as far as running back goes. You've never seen a 6'2", 220-pound guy that could move like AP. I mean, this is why I'm a Sooner fan, because he was just special. You could see that in college. I mean, this guy's running a 4.3. He's 6'2", 220. He's elusive. The only thing he really doesn't do is he's not really
a great catcher. Yeah.
But other than that, I'm like his acceleration, like everything you want. He's elusive. He's strong. He's explosive. That guy is special. That guy's the best running back of this generation. AP.
I think he's the best. I mean, Saquon Barkley is probably the next AP in terms of God-given ability. I don't think we've had a specimen like Peterson Now, Barkley's been the closest thing since.
I agree.
At the running back position. And Stormy, man, thanks so much for love. I appreciate it. He says, good night, guys. Stay safe out there in New York. You as well, man. Thank you for becoming a member, by the way.
Norman, good luck to your Cardinals this year. I'm all about the Cardinals, man. My dark horse in the NFC, Kyler Murray, my dark horse MVP. So, just not when you play us.
We'll see how
Murray gets his head beat in when you play the Giants. That's nothing personal. That's just business because I love Kyler Murray. So.
That's a game I'm really looking forward to. Obviously, it's a rematch from last year. You're going to have a lot of you have the whole Giants crowd that wanted Simmons. And then you obviously got Kyler Murray versus Daniel Jones. So I think that's a really interesting game. That's one of the games I really have circled this year.
Yeah, no, that's going to be a good one, and you're gonna get to see how good James Bradbury is when he has to cover DeAndre Hopkins. So it's it was a good game last year. The Giants got way behind early. We came out, didn't play the first half, and then we had a chance to win, but Rosas missed a field goal to tie it, and that Daniel Jones got sacked like 9 times in that game. I remember like the last play of the game, last 4th down. I mean, the guy Nate Solder didn't even stop him. I mean, Daniel Jones turned around, he was getting hit. So
and plus the rain had a lot to do with that game too. There was a lot of issues with
a lot of rain. That's one thing I am a little concerned about Daniel Jones. You saw him in bad weather. He played really bad. That Packers game was really bad weather. He played really bad, and he did not play well against the Cardinals either.
And I think there was bad weather. There was another. I think it was a game late in the year too. Maybe there was a third. Maybe it was just the Packers game. Maybe I don't remember. But you're absolutely right.
Struggled in bad weather, so that worries me because as New Yorkers, we know the weather gets really bad here about middle of November, end of November through December. It's not pretty. So
yeah, that's something he's gonna have to get better at, no doubt about it. Let's see. We got Antonio Brown just popped in and his message was blocked. He must have said something stupid. Chris, please read
Antonio Brown. Chris, I mean,
Asia. I'll just sit in the corner and shut up. Okay. Should we just say hi to Bobby again? Asia, sorry, Chris didn't answer me. All right, I'm going to scroll all the way up and we're going to find Bobby's comment. Hi, Delano, my friend. Delano, what's going on, my man? He says, this is an awesome stream tonight. I appreciate that, Bobby. Let's keep going. This is an awesome stream tonight. Thank you so much, Bobby. Let's go up again. Let's keep going.
He says, hey, hi, Delano, my friend.
This is an awesome stream tonight. Thank you so much, Bobby. I appreciate that.
Do you like the stream tonight?
I try my best to read everybody, and there you go. I read Bobby's. Butcher's Block, man. Thanks so much for love. I really appreciate. And Mike Moreno's in here, man. What's going on, Mike? And Butcher's Block and Patriots Talk. If you haven't done so, please go on over there and subscribe to him. A great YouTuber guy. He had us on his channel about a month ago. Love Bobby. And
good old Paisano too. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
the guy, but what the hell can you do?
He says, thank God it's Friday, fellas. Cheers to you, man. Thank you so much for being here, Bobby. And
Bobby,
go over there and check him out. But thank you to everybody for being here. And Bobby, man, I really appreciate the love, man. And yeah, man, thank you for being here. And hi, Bobby.
Yeah, I gotta go drinking with Bobby. Bobby Woodruff couldn't keep up with me or drinking. Bobby in Boston, Butcher's Block, he could. But yeah, Bobby, we gotta get into some scotch together.
What's going on, Brock? Thanks for being here. He says, all right, let's see what Nikki says first. What does Mahomes have to do in order for people to say he lived up to his contract? How many Super Bowls? It's going to take a few for sure.
Just got to do what he's been doing.
Yeah.
Now, it's hard when you give your quarterback a 30-year salary cap.
Yeah. It's not going to be easy. But if anybody's capable of doing it, it's him and Andy Reid paired together. But I would say 2 Super Bowls. If he wins 2 more, I mean, at the end of the day, Super Bowls are priceless. If you're a football team and you're a fan base.
If he wins 1, it's worth it.
It is. It is.
Worth it if he wins 1.
And how many quarterbacks win a Super Bowl? Not many.
Look at the great quarterbacks that haven't won 1. Look at the great quarterbacks that have only won 1. Drew Brees, Aaron Rodgers, Russell Wilson. They've all only won 1.
Right.
Dan Marino didn't win a Super Bowl.
So Steve Young only won 1.
Right, only won 1 Super Bowl.
Warren Moon never won any.
Right. Never won. Cunningham never won.
So many. Michael Vick, even though he was banged up, he never won.
Never won a Super Bowl. He was really good.
Jim Kelly. I don't know if you said him. He's never won.
Yeah. He never won a Super Bowl.
Kurt Warner only won 1. So many. Phillip Rivers never won. Tony Romo never won.
A lot of great quarterbacks haven't won anything. So if he wins 1, I think it's worth it. But the thing about that contract is 10 years. Do you think Andy Reid coaches another 10 years?
He doesn't. I don't think. I think he coaches at least 5 to 7. And I think Andy Reid probably assured them that he's going to be there for the majority of that contract. Otherwise, they probably don't sign him to that long of a contract. My guess is Reid probably coaches to 68 to 70 years old, and then he hangs it up.
Yeah, he'll be eating for the next.
And Butch's man, Bobby, man, thanks for the love, man. He says, I'll bring the McAllen. Bet on it there, dog.
Yeah, McAllen, baby.
Hey,
Going to the steakhouse tomorrow night. I actually saw that they had on the Scotch menu. Now, it doesn't show a price. So it's probably going to be out of my price range. I'm not paying more than $25 for a glass of Scotch. And I'm sure it's a 21-year Glenlivet. Now, as far as I remember, because I used to do this when I was younger and actually had money, a lot of money when I was single, and now, I'm married and I don't have the same job, and now times are tough. But I think it was like $65 a glass. That's expensive. So this might be like up to 100. So I'm not doing that.
My God, just bring it.
I'd have to win a lot of money at the casino to say, yeah, give me $100 glasses.
Yeah, it'd probably have to be up at least a G.
But they do have Chimay beer there, which that's probably $12 a bottle.
I've had that beer. It's good beer.
That is good. So I could probably have a couple of those with my filet mignon, because every time we go to steakhouse, I get filet mignon.
I love filet mignon.
Gotta have it.
Al, man, thanks for the love, man. I really appreciate it. He says, I read Bleacher Report. DeAndre Baker stealing passports. Can't make it up. He then threatened victim. All right, I'm going to have to read this. He then supposedly threatened the victim by sending pics of the passport. Call me for better methods to scare someone. Don't add up, but entertaining night, guys. My God, this story. This is that if you pitched this as a movie script to Hollywood, people would have said there's no way.
You know what he's trying to do? He's trying to get his own damn special like Aaron Hernandez got. That is exactly what he's trying to do. So DeAndre Baker coming to ID Discovery very soon.
Yeah, I'll tell you what, the Aaron Hernandez, it was very entertaining. I enjoyed it. It was, it was horrible to watch, but maybe that is what he's trying to do. He's trying to be a Hollywood star.
He's on Aaron Hernandez.
Yeah.
That's what he would. Yeah. Oh, but by the way, the Patriots, anybody say anything bad about their GM having that guy on their team? Nope.
Yeah, and Aaron Hernandez had a lot of issues. You go back, watch that documentary. He had, and people knew it anyway, but he had a lot of issues coming into the NFL.
Said nothing about it.
Well, you know why? Because they won.
Yeah.
That's why.
That's what I mean. So,
yeah. Winning cures all. Jacob, man, thanks for the love. I appreciate it. He says, if Gordon gets reinstated, I think we should sign him. Also, which rookie would be a Pro Bowler? Xavier McKinney or Andrew Thomas? Okay, so
reinstated as far as I remember.
I think he applied for reinstatement. I think he's going to be accepted. I don't know if he's officially been accepted, but yeah, I mean, I'd be okay with it. I've talked about that on my channel. I think you've talked about it, but I think we both agree it more than likely won't happen.
Yeah, probably not. I mean, he can come to my channel anytime. He's part of the 420 crew. We all know he'd be right up there with Ponkum and Cushmaster as the president. So,
yeah, I'd be open to it. Based on the fact that, I mean, what do you have to lose? You're going to pay him a league minimum contract. If the guy acts up, you cut him.
Yeah.
But I don't think it's going to happen. Plus, he has experience with Joe Judge. But we'll see. And as far as the Pro Bowl, I would say that's a tough one. I mean, I'd say McKinney probably has a higher probability because I just think it's really hard to crack the Pro Bowl as a tackle, specifically a rookie left tackle.
Yeah, he doesn't play special. He's gonna have to prove it. He's got a lot of tough pass rushers.
Yeah,
he have to block this year.
Yeah, I would say McKinney. I don't think either one, if I'm being honest, makes a Pro Bowl in the rookie year, but I would say McKinney has a higher probability.
I think so too.
Yeah, thanks for and Blue Collars in the chat. What's going on, man? I appreciate it. He says, "What's up, Canoli Crew Tana? How does your little bro know more about baseball than you, Yankees fan?" Yeah, he is a Yankees fan.
Yeah, see?
Who is the biggest athlete of all sports and all of errors? I think it's Michael Jordan.
What happened to you? Your dad is a Yankee fan. Your brother's a Yankee fan. What are you doing?
I don't know. I mean, I've told the story of how I became a Mets fan. But
not so.
Well, all right. I was a huge baseball player. Always loved baseball growing up. Since I was 4 years old, playing T-ball was definitely my best sport that I played. And I always loved watching it, but I was never a diehard. Probably up until about 12 years old. And my first, I mean, I'd been to plenty. I had never been to a Yankee game up until about 25. So I always sided towards the Mets. I'd been to several Mets games. But my first game that really made me a diehard Mets fan, it was the Subway Series game against the Yankees in, I think it was 98 or 99. I think maybe 99 when it went to extra innings. And no, ninth inning rather. Mets were down 8-7. and Matt Franco had the walk-off single against Mariano Rivera.
Sure.
And I was at that game, and probably the worst decision I ever made to become a diehard Met fan after the fact. But
if the Yankees could have pulled that out, it would have been a whole different ball game for Chris.
You probably would have been. I don't know.
Every time the Mets beat the Yankees, it cursed Chris for the rest of his life. The Mets do it to you again, Chris.
I blame Matt.
They do it to you.
I blame Matt Franco for my diehard Mets fanhood. But yeah, my dad's a Yankee fan, but he always rooted for the Mets as well. He definitely sides more with the Yankees. My brother's not a big sports fan, but he definitely roots for the Yankees. His fiance's a diehard Yankee fan, so he's kind of forced to really get into it. But
smart man.
Yeah, smart man. Smart man.
Not as smart as you could have been.
No, I made a bad decision.
Bad decisions, Chris. I mean, I'm a Knicks fan.
Yeah. Well, we both are. That was another horrible decision.
I should have just went with the Lakers right from the beginning.
Delano says, "Come to the dog." I can't do it, man. When you're as old as I am and you've gone through what I have, I can't do it. I put myself through too much torture.
Yeah, I think Chris is a martyr. He enjoys that. You're not a Jets guy. It could have been a lot worse.
Jets is really bad. Brock says, "How's it going, guys? Really liking the movie channel. Did I lose my wrench?" Brock, I took away everybody's wrench. Nothing to do with you. I've given out a few more. I guess you haven't been here in a while.
Yeah, it took me a long time to get a wrench on this channel, so that's all you need to know.
Yeah, I had 2 times where people with wrenches infiltrated the channels and they deleted everybody, so I started from scratch. I'm slowly giving them back for people that are always in the streams, but it's very slowly. It's like 2 or 3 a month.
I thinned mine out too, just like my hair. It's just very rare. It's really just the regulars that have them now.
Yeah, but Brock, man, thank you so much for checking out the movie channel. I appreciate it. What's going on, Vance, man? Thanks for being here. And Baddog, can I drink you? I can drink you under the table, boy. Bobby says.
Yeah, I don't know about that, Bobby. I mean, you can't even make a 24-hour stream without falling asleep.
JV, man, thanks for love. I appreciate it. He says, if Nate Solder doesn't play because of COVID, who starts? Yeah, somebody asked us that earlier, JB. I think we both agree it's probably Cam Fleming.
Yeah. Cam Fleming or Nick Gates. I think it's not going to be Parrott. I don't think Parrott will be there, be starting at the beginning of the year. But I think it'll be Nick Gates finished right, playing right tackle last year, did a pretty good job. So I think between Fleming and Gates.
Yeah, I mean, Fleming's had at least moderate success. He, throughout his career, he started the majority of his career with the Patriots. So, and we brought him in to be a swing tackle. We're paying him a decent amount of money. So I would label Fleming probably the favorite, but yeah, Nick Gates definitely has the possibility of winning that as well. But it will not be Parrott to open the year. Let's see what we got here. What's going on, Scott? Man, thanks for being here, buddy. Mo mods, mo problems. That's right, Jawad. Let's see what we got here. Dion Lewis in the backfield and 26 out wide at the same time. Huge problem for the defense? ? I'd like to see that more. We've talked about that before. I felt like they didn't use him enough in the passing game last year, Saquon Barkley. I'd like to see them get more creative with that.
I think you will. But then again, Barkley's job isn't the catch. It's to run. Barkley's job is to run the ball. So, honestly, if you're going to give him touches, yeah, I mean, I wouldn't mind. I don't want him getting 92 catches out of the backfield like he did his rookie season, but 40 to 50 catches is fine. I'd rather you give him 40 more touches. And I understand the point of that. You want to get him away from the offensive line, which has been bad. You want to get him out in open space. But as we've seen, the Giants are one of the worst freaking teams in the history of football setting up a screen pass. And it doesn't help when you don't have athletic linemen, which we don't. So that doesn't work either. You can't run screens with linemen that can't move. And that's been a problem with the Giants.
Yeah. No, I personally like to see him get. I agree with you. I don't want to see 92 catches, but I'd like to see them get more creative in the passing game because I do think he's definitely obviously our best weapon. So the more that you can get him out in
field routes,
field
routes get him match up against a linebacker. That's like what you want.
Yeah, the more that you get a little creative with him, the better. JB, man, thanks again, man, for the love. He says, with the DH, who is your starting 9 for the Mets? That's another really good question. Okay, here's what I'm going to say. I was listening to WFA, actually, they were talking about the Mets. Francesa, oddly enough, was talking about the Mets, even though he's a big Yankee guy.
Yeah, but he still likes the Mets.
Yeah, he sprinkles in the Mets. He seems to think that the Mets will probably lean Cespedes in left field if he's fully healthy, just because he's a much better outfielder than a guy like J.D. Davis. I still think he should play right field because of his arm, but he won't do that. So on most nights, I think Cespedes will be in the field. I think he'll be playing left. I think you'll see Conforto out there. I think you'll see Nimmo out there. I think J.D. Davis will probably be the DH. But I think they'll mix and match. I think you'll see Cano play some DH. I think you'll see Cespedes play some DH. But I think the guy who'll get the most time as the DH because of his he's there for his bat. Let's be real. He's not there for his glove. Is J.D. Davis. So I think Davis will be the primary DH, but I think you'll get a little Cano there and Cespedes as well.
Yeah, and on your Twitter post, I don't know how you think McNeil's better than Gleyber. I mean,
I'm not gonna lie.
Gleyber is good, man.
I had to rub it into Yankee fans a little bit.
You can't now with Gleyber. I mean, hell, I'm even putting Gleyber above Judge, man. Gleyber is going to be the best player on the Yankees.
Oh, I'll tell you this: if that list was based on who I think is going to be the best player in New York in 5 years, Torres might have been number one. I think Gleyber Torres is immensely talented.
38 homers last year, missed like 35 games.
No, he's great. Gleyber Torres is a great talent. He's got to work on his fielding, but overall, I mean, the guy's an incredible talent. He's definitely the future of the Yankees. You'll never hear me debate that. I just like to rub it in a little bit when I can.
You got to rub it in when you can.
I'm a big McNeil fan.
I was going to say he was better than Alonso. Alonso had a massive season, so I wasn't going to do that. But I'm like, McNeil. I'm like, Kyrie. I'm like, come on.
I'm a big McNeil guy, so I got.
Yeah,
he's a throwback. I like the throwback.
Gleyber's really good.
Oh, Gleyber's freaking awesome. Jacob, man, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate it. He says, "Don't worry, Chris. I'm a Mets and Knicks fan. Who do you think will win a championship, the Mets or the Knicks? Also, if the Knicks got the first overall pick next year, who would you want to draft? I'm going to go whoever they deem is the best available point guard. That's who
baby.
That's who most people think. So, I worry about his father, but yeah, I probably want to go Bull. But whoever they deem is the best available point guard, that's what we need more than anything. As far as what was the other question? Oh, who do I think wins a championship first, the Mets or the Knicks? Mets. I mean, people forget the Mets
were the Knicks.
The Mets went to a championship 4 years ago.
Yeah,
5 years ago.
The Jets will win one before the Knicks.
Yeah,
the Bills. What other team plays? I mean, obviously the Yankees and Giants will. The Rangers and Islanders both. But what other? The Liberty. They stink too. It just must be something about Madison Square Garden. I don't know what the hell it is.
Yeah.
But John Talento, yes, the Yankees got Gleyber in the Chapman deal, and then they ended up getting Chapman back. Some people are like, "Oh, the Yankees, pulled one over on the Cubs." I said, "No, they didn't. The Cubs won a World Series. They do that trade every day of the week, every day, every year to win that. They didn't win a World Series in almost 100 years. And it was more than 100 years, 108 years. So it
was worth it. No, they won a World Series. It was worth it.
They didn't win the World Series, then it would have been bad. And let's face it, Joe Madden, who's the most overrated baseball manager I've ever seen in my life, almost blew that game by keeping Chapman out there.
Joe Madden gets too cute. He's too smart for his own britches.
Try to throw Chapman's arm off, and he's lucky that they won that game.
Yeah. He gets too cute sometimes. What's going on, Loud, man? Thanks for being here, buddy. Imagine Dolan and LeVar Ball. Why would any Knicks fan want that? Well, we don't want Dolan, Milkman. we want to get rid of Dolan at all costs. Unfortunately, that probably will not happen. But yeah,
you don't know what they're gonna do to each other.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day,
LeVar Ball. Well, I mean, Dolan could just ban him. I mean, he bans everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, Dolan's just a bad match for anybody. But, I get the whole Bull thing. The father's just out of his mind. So,
that's him.
Yeah, it's definitely something you got to worry about. The Wrench situation makes sense. If you ever get tired of losing, you can always become an Eagles. Well, no, the Eagles have one Super Bowl. We got 4. I'm good here, man. Brock, I'm good here, buddy.
Yeah. I really want to be an Eagles fan. They're headed for dark times.
Here we go. John Murray just said, Grieco's the lawyer of Dunbar. He says Grieco denied witnesses were paid off and claiming extortion. All victims are seasoned career criminals who have been convicted of conspiracy, trafficking, and filing a false police report.
I guess it doesn't really matter what their background is if they were held up at gunpoint.
I don't even know what to think anymore.
All this evidence about them paying it off, but you know what? We're gonna find out eventually. Like I said, it's an ID discovery thing, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I mean that's what I mean. All I said in my video was it just looks as based off this, it's not good. I didn't say he was guilty. I made sure not to say that. Off that evidence, it looked like he was. Of course, his lawyer's going to come out and say that. What do you expect his lawyer to say? And I guess we're going to have to continue to wait and see how this case transpires. I don't know what else to say. Yeah. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got here.
I think DeAndre Baker is not going to be wearing a Giants uniform in 2020.
Let's see what we got here. What type of contract do you guys think Lamar gets? His style means he's not getting 10 years. Lamar Jackson, he's not getting 10 years. The Ravens would be crazy to do that with his play style.
Not doing that. No.
Yeah, he'll probably get a standard 5-year extension. He's probably going to get paid the per year with Mahomes as long as he can remain healthy. But I don't think he's getting 10 years. Joseph Clark, man, thanks so much for the love. He says innocent until proven guilty. Free DeAndre. We'll see. You know, listen.
It wasn't free for him. He was costing $55,000.
We'll see. You know, innocent until proven guilty. That's all I'll say about it. I don't know. I don't know what's going on. I don't know what's going on. I'm just gonna
confused.
Yeah, I'm just gonna report what I see. That's all I can do. So
yep.
At this rate, it's not even worth it to keep him. If he's innocent, the Giants would get killed if they didn't keep him.
Yep.
So I think they have to wait and let it play out. I
don't even think that they get killed. I mean, I think people would understand it. You really want that hanging over your head? This is a young team with a new coach. You really think Joe Judge wanted to come into this situation? Bad situation to come into.
Oh, horrible situation. By the way, we're going to wrap this up in like 5 minutes, guys. Just want to answer a couple more questions for you guys. He says, hey, Chris, how do you feel about A-Rod's bid to buy the Mets? Brandon Allen, I'd be happy if you bought the Mets. Anybody right now would be better than the Wilpons, so I'm excited about it. Anybody that takes over this team, it can't be worse than what the Wilpons have been. So, and I'm not saying the Wilpons were horrible before the Ponzi scheme because they did spend, but they've been penny pinchers in a sport where if you're in a New York market, you can't be. And
the Yankees are your crosstown rival.
Yeah, with the Yankees being
no expense, so it makes the Mets look even worse.
Yeah, it's not like basketball where there's a salary cap. It's a sport where when you spend, it definitely helps out your team. And when you charge the prices the Mets do, the fans expect winning. And the Mets were not. They're charging big market prices, but not putting. They're not putting forth a big market.
Pretty much what the Mets do is this. There's a couple of loaves of bread on a shelf. So the Yankees will get the one that the expiration date is the farthest away. And the Mets will grab the loaf of bread that's the same price, but the expiration date is 2 days away. That's what the Mets do. So they get everybody at the end of their career. Yankees get everybody at the beginning of their career. And Bobby Bonilla Day just passed July 1st, and they're paying him.
Oh, yeah. Bob, my favorite day of the year. Bobby Bonilla Day, my favorite day of the year.
35. They pay him, and that's it. They go out, they get Jason Bay, they go out, they get Robbie Cano, now they got Melky Cabrera. They get guys that were once. This is what the Yankees did when I was growing up.
They got what's his name a couple of years ago when he was 40, Adrian Gonzalez. They had Julio Franco.
Oh, he had Julio Franco when he was 70.
Yeah.
Ricky Henderson as a
Bartolo Colon.
Yeah, Colon still wants to pitch.
He pitched well for the Mets, but he was 43 years old.
Oh my God, I mean that's just what the Mets do. That's what the Yankees did in the 80s. They got everybody that was past their prime.
Yeah. Absolutely. And Meat Man, thanks for the love, man. I appreciate it. He says, great stream tonight, guys. And if Baker's innocent, I take everything I said bad about him back. Listen,
I don't.
I've been careful. I have not said he's guilty. I've said based on what I've heard today, it seems like there's a higher probability he's guilty than he's innocent. That's all I'll say is I'll wait to see it.
Put it that way.
I'll wait to see how it plays out. I mean, I know that there could be more twisted turns, but all I'll say to that is, I mean, what do you think the lawyer is going to say? So I guess we're going to have to wait and see to, all the evidence plays out. I just report it as I hear it.
Yeah.
So let's see what we got here. Favorite Red Sox player currently, if you had to choose. I'll let you answer that. You're the Yankee fan.
Xander Bogaerts. It was Mookie Betts. He's not there anymore. So definitely Xander Bogaerts. I've always liked Bogaerts. Betts was one of my favorite players in baseball. I'm so glad he's on the Dodgers now. But yeah, Xander Bogaerts would be my favorite Red Sox, without a doubt.
My favorite Red Sox ever, I think, is probably Garcia Parra. I always loved Garcia Parra. He got hurt, but I always really liked Nomar Garcia Parra. Probably my favorite Red Sox.
Of all time, that's tough.
I like Pedro too. I know Yankee. I know Yankee fans hate him, but I like Pedro.
I like Nomar. It'd probably be like Dwight Evans, though. I always liked Dwight Evans. I mean, we're going back a ways, but Dwight Evans was really good. Dwight Evans is a very, very underrated baseball player. He was very good in his day. So that's probably my favorite Red Sox of all time.
Yeah.
Dwight Evans.
A lot of great Red Sox. And Benjamin, man, thanks for love. He says, Chris Baddog, I did it. That's why you take the congratulations, Benjamin. Good luck tonight.
There you go.
Appreciate that. And JB says, should we just sign Logan Ryan? Somebody asked that at the top of the stream, and we talked about it. If we had a higher budget, I'd say, yeah. I just don't think we're gonna have the money to bring him in. The guy wants $8 to $10 million. We don't have that. We got 18 million or 16 million right now on the cap if DeAndre Baker's still going to be with the team, and at least 10 of that's dedicated to draft picks that we haven't signed yet. So, and Marcus Golden coming back. So, unless somebody signs him within the next 10 days. So I just don't think we have the money to bring him in. Of course you could finagle things. I honestly don't see it though. I don't think we're going to bring him in.
Well, Ted, if I'm going back before my time, then yeah, Ted Williams was God, but I'm talking about guys that I saw play. And I don't even think Lou. I don't even think you're. I know he's older than me, but you can't be old enough to have saw Ted Williams play. What was Ted Williams last year? 1960. You're not old enough for that. LA.
Greatest hitter of all time. That's what most people say.
Old enough for that. Lou's 57. What does that make him?
57. That's
1960.
No, he ain't that old.
You missed Ted Williams.
He missed that. Well, he saw the tape probably.
Well, I mean, we all saw the tape.
Yeah. And Al Bats, man.
Tape on DeAndre Baker.
Al Bats, thanks for the love. He says, last comment, Judge won't wait, what is he saying? Last comment, Judge won't not have given such low bail and let him travel if he didn't see something wrong. So you're saying because of that you think that there's something going on in the case. Yeah, I mean, we're gonna find. I mean, hopefully we find out sooner than later. Because we're hoping we have the answer before the year starts. But who knows how long this case is gonna take? And JB, man, thanks for love. He says, how Yankee championships can we really count?
All of them.
I mean, yeah. I mean, you have to count. I get what he's saying. Well, here's what I'll say: if you're a Mets fan, I guess if you're comparing the two teams, I get that aspect. It's not fair because the Mets came up in 62. So compare it from 1962 on.
Okay, so give us.
You guys still kill us.
8.
Yeah. I'm saying it's not 27-2. It's 8-2. So if you want to look at it that way, you can. And yeah, I get that. Plus, a lot of those championships were when there was not 30 teams.
Right. No.
Yeah, but still, obviously the greatest franchise ever. And Benjamin, man, thanks for love. He says, Baddog, you'll love me tomorrow. He says, all right. But okay, then.
I always love you, Benjamin. You're the man, buddy. Yeah, let's see if we get. Like I said, I'll show up for like an hour, and I'll have a couple beers in there. Benjamin, bring your beer tomorrow because I'll have one in my hand.
There you go. You guys could drink up together. But guys, thank you so much for coming in. Thank you guys for hanging out with us. Thank you guys, like I always say, for being the best supporters on YouTube. And hopefully this Baker thing gets resolved sooner than later. Like I said, all I'm going to do is report on it and just give my opinion as it goes. And yeah, innocent till proven guilty. But yeah, again, thank you guys for being the best supporters on YouTube. I'll be live again probably Sunday. Having some subscribers on. Blue Collar, man, thanks for being here, buddy. Bando will be live tomorrow night for an hour. He said he's going to be at the casino.
Yeah, probably early afternoon. I don't think it'll be at night. Nights,
Yeah, so you
and then.
Yeah, so you go over there, hang out with him, drink a couple of beers, and like Baddog always says, our favorite thing to do on YouTube, and hopefully we have a season. Hopefully we have a lot to talk about by July 28th. That's training camp, and that's when we're going to start to really get real news coming out about the New York Giants.
Happening then. So
yeah, and
Baddog, man, we'll be very busy people.
Yeah, well, between basketball and baseball and training camp. And yeah, it's gonna be a lot of sports if everything goes according to plan. But
it's tough, man. Like I said, for me, it'd be calling Laker games and doing Laker post games. I'm always gonna try to do a Yankee recap, even if I can't, call the game. And then obviously Giants content for training camp. So yeah. Freaking busy.
But Baddog, man, thanks for coming on. I appreciate it. Always let you get the last word. But thank you to everybody yet again for being here. If you haven't done so, please hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and go over to Baddog and do the same thing.
Yeah, guys, like Chris said, I mean, we say it every week and can't say it enough. If not for you guys and girls, these channels aren't what they are. I mean, you guys and girls make them. You're always here. You're always supportive. And, even with nothing going on, the numbers haven't dwindled. You guys come in with great insight, great questions. And, like I said, we're getting through this together, but there is a light at the end of the tunnel. Hopefully everything works out and we really don't have any hiccups or setbacks. And we're going to have a full football season, and hopefully we're talking about how good the New York Giants are. I mean, get rid of this stupid Alger Grossauce and DeAndre Baker crap. We can start talking about how good Daniel Jones looks and how Saquon Barkley's leading the league in rushing and how Joe Judge has done a great job his first year and how Andrew Thomas completely shut down Chase Young. Those are the things we want to talk about. So We appreciate all your support, and hopefully you guys will tune in for an hour. I can't tell you exactly the time. I'm not going to schedule it. I'm just going to go, and hopefully you come and hang out with me for an hour or whatever. So enjoy your weekend if we don't see you. But until then, for the Entertainer Talking Sports, it's the Bad Diggity Dizzle, and we are gone. Peace.